It had not happened since 1901, and last Saturday, Indiana football fans celebrated. Their victory over Michigan after an early thrashing of Ohio State was a rare double for the Hoosiers and gave hope for the first time in 20 years Indiana may win the Big Ten, may go to the Rose Bowl. At the moment, and Hoosier fans hope it is not just for the moment, Indiana stands atop the Big Ten with Michigan State a half a game back and Ohio State 1 game from the lead. Today, Indiana plays here at Iowa, where the Hawkeyes own the Big Ten's best defense. The coaches, Hayden Fry of Iowa and Bill Mallory of Indiana, know how tough, how important today's game is.
Well, again, you know, really we're just looking at each game one at a time. And we've got 4 tough ones, and this one's a tough one, and we're going to have to come in here and play well here this afternoon. We've got a lot of respect for Iowa. I think they're a very good football team, as good a team as we've played thus far.
Well, it's another Big Ten game, and each one counts as a victory or a loss, and this one's taken on added importance because of the tremendous job that Indiana's done. They're the only undefeated team left in the Big Ten, and obviously it's a challenge, but yet an opportunity for the Hawks today.
All right, Jim Simpson, you're there in Iowa City. Let's say that Mallory beats Iowa today. Will he get a note from Schembechler and Bruce saying, hey, you got a pretty good football team?
You know Bo better than I do. I guess Bo didn't think so much last week after he lost, but nevertheless it is another loss, another win for Indiana. What amazes me, Dave, and for all of you, here is Indiana now in the top 10 in the nation, atop the Big Ten in this conference. And here they are on television for the very first time. And Steve Davis, they're not a bunch of no-names, except outside the Big Ten, people maybe not have heard of Snell or Thompson or Jones.
Well, there are some outstanding players that we've not heard of this year, which is really surprising about Indiana. But, you know, they're really exciting. When you watch them on film, what you get excited about is their confidence, their enthusiasm, the fanatical effort. And the 3 players, the Indiana triplets, I would call them, are really talented players. And I really believe that they will be exciting today.
They've got the run, they've got the pass, and they've got the pass receiver. First of all, we start with the run, and we start with Anthony Thompson.
Well, Anthony Thompson really gives them the balance in the running game. He is a prolific sweep runner. What you like about him is ability to break tackles, great field vision, all the things that you want in a tailback in the I formation. They will go split backs at times, but he's a great isolation play runner as well. He'll go inside or outside, and he just is an exciting runner and has the speed, 4.6, 4.5 speed, to be able to make the big plays.
And aside from Thompson, there's the quarterback who ran for a touchdown last week and threw for yet another. Dave Snell was 11 touchdown passes. Most of his passes are taken by the nation's leading man in receiving yardage, and that is Ernie Jones.
What you like about Dave Snell, he's a 61% passer. You love his competitiveness, his poise, his confidence to throw the ball down the field. You like Ernie Jones for his 4.5 speed, his big play talent, and his ability to do something with the football after he catches it. Every coach in the Big Ten Conference that plays against him is fearful of what he does after the catch. The yardage after the catch will be a key stat in terms of today's game.
And as Hayden Fry said, they've got men who can fly on this Indiana team. Here they are against Michigan, and remember the last 3 weeks, Snell and Jones have helped Indiana beat Ohio State, Minnesota, and Michigan. Our John Snyder talked to Snell about the games past and present.
You know, they're big wins for us. We knew we were capable of winning them. It's something. It's great that we won them, but you know you got to put it behind you. You can't sit and dwell on the past, and you can't look too far ahead. You just got to take one game at a time. And this week's Iowa. We've been preparing real hard for it this week, and everybody's locked in. There's not going to be any emotional breakdown or anything.
Dave, a lot of people favor Iowa to win this game, though. Is that because people think there may be an emotional letdown after 3 big wins like you've had?
Well, you know, I don't know what they think, but I know as a player and a member on this team that the team's not going to let that happen. We've talked about it. We know the situation we're in, and we just got to come out and play like we played every week.
Now, about a month ago, Steve and I on the Big Ten Network were right here in Iowa City. Michigan State defeated Iowa. And at that time, they were playing quarterback musical chairs. But now here's Hartlieb, who finally came on in that game because of the injury to McGuire.
Well, what really happened is Iowa just did not have a quarterback to jump out and take the position. Dan McGuire started in the Michigan State game. He got hurt late in the ball game. Then comes Chuck Hartlieb. He completes 6 straight passes, and he earned the position. This will be his 4th start. He's the senior, the veteran. veteran, the confident performer, and it really is a key player.
And he leads the Big Ten in passing efficiency.
What you really like about Chuck Hartlieb is, first of all, his experience. He knows this system. He's been around here for a long time at Iowa. He is a very efficient passer, as you said, Jim. He's able to find the open receivers in Quinn Early or Travis Watkins. And I think that he's the player's favorite, too. And I think the greatest thing about Iowa is the fact that the decision is now made. There's no suspicion who the quarterback's going to be.
Well, John Snyder corralled Hartlieb and asked him about this quarterback situation at Iowa.
Well, it's been an interesting situation all year. You know, all three of us are real even, and it's been a difficult situation for the whole team. And the coaches, I thought, handled it pretty well. And after that Michigan State game, Dan went down with an injury, and I had my opportunity in the game after that. And we've had some success, and Coach Fry's had some confidence in me. So, fortunately, it's just been me the last 3 weeks.
How do you feel how you're playing then, you personally as a player? You have to feel good. I mean, does your confidence level up after the last couple of weeks you've had?
I feel real good about it. Every week been building and improving, and I still think there's room for improvement. But the number one thing I feel real good about is my confidence. I feel real relaxed back in the pocket. My teammates have responded to me. Receivers are getting open downfield, and I feel that, you know, give me 3 or 4 seconds in the pocket, and we're going to get the job done.
It is a big game, Indiana and Iowa, and it's a big day everywhere. Happy Halloween, everybody. Dave Dials previews today's top college games in a moment. And football, America's premier conference. For the first time this year, we say welcome to an Indiana football game. After all, they are number 10 in the nation against the Iowa Hawkeyes, who lead the Big Ten in defense. A tough afternoon. In the series, it's been almost all Iowa, leading 29-19 with but 4 ties, winning their last 5 games, the last meeting 3 years ago at Bloomington. Temperature expected to be 60. It's only 48. Cloudy, scattered showers, and the wind up to 21 miles at least. It is a chilly day at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. And hello from Iowa City. I'm Jim Simpson along with Steve Davis. Now, this is a television debut for Indiana. We've talked about Snell and Thompson and Jones, but let's talk about Indiana. The possibility, the probability of going to the Rose Bowl. In your opinion, Steve Davis, is Indiana for real?
Well, I think they are. A lot of people don't want to give them credit for being for real, but they've beaten Michigan, they've beaten Ohio State, and they're not getting any respect nationally, but I really believe that they are a very talented football team. Young football teams that are inexperienced at winning are dependent on their coaches. Bill Mallory is a solid guy. He's been in the position before. He's been in the good times and the bad times, and I think that's the good thing about Indiana. The frustration about Indiana, each victory from now on will be more difficult because they begin to get confident. They begin to feel like that they've arrived. I don't think they have, but they are a good football team.
And a game later today, and that is Ohio State and Michigan State will decide how far they are, you know, out in front, if they are at the end of the day. Because let me tell you something, they know, you know, Iowa is favored by almost a touchdown. How come?
I don't know. I really don't know why. I guess part of it is because they're playing at home here at Iowa. But I really believe when you think about Indiana right now and what they're doing, you really take a couple of things. You win with execution and with talent. There comes Indiana. But what you do, the byproducts are the positives of the emotion and the confidence. And Indiana is a real confident football team right now.
All right, their only loss was to Kentucky, in which Bill Mallory said they lost their poise. What about the poise of playing Iowa here? Of course, they maintained it earlier against Ohio State and Columbus.
Well, I've always said that players don't deal with reality very well, but I really believe that Bill Mallory and his staff has done just an exceptional job of pulling Indiana into focus, of being able to take one game at a time, which is so important for them to do. It is their toughest challenge. What is really key about Indiana is they have the position of letting it be taken away from them. You are in the enviable position. You control your own destiny. opportunity. Don't let Iowa or any opponent take it away from them. That's the pressure of an inexperienced team that is winning and 6-1 and 10th ranked in the country.
Hayden Fry keeps telling his team, we still have a chance for the Rose Bowl. Does he? Well, let me tell you something else. There are 7 other bowls being represented here today to watch both Indiana and Iowa. And for the 45th consecutive time, Kinnick Stadium is loaded. 67,700. It is Halloween. It is a good game. And the kickoff in a moment from Iowa City.
Big Ten football is brought to you by Apple Computer, makers of the new Macintosh SE and Macintosh 2 family of personal computers. And by Miller Lite. For great taste, there is only one light beer.
Iowa has really struggled this year in the kicking game, particularly the punting game. In the pregame warm-ups, Hayden Fry spent most of the time with his punters. Mark Adams has been the punter. He has not been very successful. Dan McGuire, reserve quarterback, may punt today. Marv Cook, a reserve tight end, may punt. On the other side, Indiana's kicking game very solid. They lead the conference in kickoff returns and punt returns.
Thank you, John. And again, as we always say on the Saturday afternoons here on the Big Ten Network, we look forward to your insightful comments from the sidelines today from Kinnick Stadium here in Iowa City, where this is one of the few universities in the land that sells out every single football game plus every single basketball game every single year. That has been a situation that has gone on for some time. And now, Indiana will kick off. And kicking off for Indiana is Pete Stoyanovich. Their place kicker also handles the points after touchdown. The deep man there is number 21, Tony Stewart, who will see a lot of action at running back today because of the ankle injury to Kevin Harmon. Peter Marciano, yes, he is the nephew of Rocky Marciano, is the other man deep. Strong wind blowing, difficult to tell which way, almost looks like it's swirling, and this will be a very short kick. Taken by one of the up men, Grant Goodman, a reserve fullback. And here comes Iowa out onto the field, led by Chuck Hartlieb, who is #1 in passing efficiency in the Big Ten. Tony Stewart, as we said, over Kevin Harmon, because Harmon's got that ankle injury. David Hudson had a very good week last week, 96 yards against Purdue. He is the fullback. Quinn Early leads the Big Ten in catches with 43, one wide receiver. And Travis Watkins, #2, with 2 touchdown catches, the other. First down from the 23. Hartlieb to Hudson, the fullback, and he gets to the 25, and that is about all. Tackled by Joe Huff. Again for the Hawkeyes of Iowa, nearly a touchdown favorite. The tight end is Marv Cook. Offensive guard Dave Alexander on the left side. Next to him, Bob Schmidt at guard. At center, Bill Anderson. Craig Divis will be the right guard, and Herb Wester the right tackle. Second down, 8. 3 wide receivers, and Hartley back to throw. Has the time, and out of the backfield, he has his man. First down as Flagg gets all the way out to the 39-yard line. Mike Flagg is one of 3 tight ends they use frequently. Cook and Clark are the others. Defensively now for Indiana. Harris starting for the first time in some time. Sams and Schlereth. Front of 3. Waiter's a terrific linebacker. Huff, Bates, another good one, and Bush. And in the backfield, Ziegler, Hickerson, Hall, and DeWitts. DeWitts used to be a quarterback. First down at the 40 for Iowa. Early in the game, no score. Hartlieb again with all the time in the world and dumps it off. No good. Intended for Craig Clark, the 5th-year senior out of Columbus Junction. Another one of those tight ends we talked about. Clark a year ago was in the hospital with uremic poisoning and a disease they thought he wouldn't overcome, let alone play football. And here he is back playing and in on that play. The tight ends in this case are bringing in the plays. It is 2nd and 10, and let's mark it at the 39. Quinn Early with those 43 catches wide left. And Hartlieb is going to pitch the ball off to Tony Stewart, who made the catch in the backfield but is knocked down at the 35-yard line. Third and very long.
Jim, what you like about Indiana when they're playing defense is we look at the passing statistics, the quarterbacks. We've got two exceptional quarterbacks, the number 1 and number 2 in TD passes in the game, number 1 and 2 in passing, total passing and completion percentage, two excellent players. But Indiana's defense, you get excited about them, the way they play with fanatical effort. Great defenses play with fanatical effort, and they target the ball.
Third down and 15 with Watkins and Early, their two best pass catchers, to the left side. Look at the time Hartlieb has, and he's got his man open. Caught for the first down by Devin Harberts, a junior out of Walnut, Iowa, number 16. His 5th catch of the year makes it first down at the Indiana 41.
The real key to today's ball game is how this Indiana defensive secondary reacts to a passing attack. They've not had to play one all year. Harberts gets behind everybody in the secondary, and Chuck Hartlieb takes plenty of time to drop it. Watch him. He turns Ziegler, 16, completely around, and then gets to the outside, and he's by himself. This is a secondary that's not had to face a passing team.
But ranks 5th in the nation probably because of that.
That's exactly the point.
Okay, here's Tony Stewart carrying the ball, breaks one tackle, falls down, tripped up, and covered there by Brian DeWitt's number 13 at the 35. Call it second down and a long 4. Well, 44 to go in the first quarter, no score. The ball was returned to the 23-yard line, and the Hawkeyes have had it ever since. You can see why they lead the Big Ten in passing, and in the highlights of the passes that Hartlieb threw against Purdue, he had all the time in the world. The offensive line doing an outstanding job. Here's Stewart again, hands the ball back to Hartlieb, who's going to go on the flea flicker for Early in the end zone. Oh, touchdown! For Indiana fans everywhere, that drive of 77 yards looked rather easy, didn't it? The final 31 on the flea flicker. Hartlieb to Early, and Rob Houghtlin comes in to boot the extra point, and it is 7-0 with 12:18 gone in the first quarter. Quinn Early, who leads the nation in receiving yardage, gets 31 more here in his 5th touchdown of the year.
Watch what happens. This is a little flea flicker back to the quarterback. Indiana's reacting. Really, the secondary had done a good job of staying with the pass play. He's got good coverage, but he just backed away. You cannot. And there's inexperience right here in Indiana's part. We'll show it on more on the isolation later on. But Indiana's not played a passing team. They've not been handled. There's the fake. See the linebackers? They're frozen. And watch Hartlieb. The key is the secondary. You cannot think or believe that Hartlieb is going to throw a bad ball. He will throw it around the receiver every time. Now watch Quinn Early. He's the guy. Hartlieb throws it where it has to be, but watch Early. See, he does a good job of faking, but the back doesn't go for it. Hickerson, 45, and then watch him. He backs away from him, thinking that maybe the ball's not going to be just where it needed to be. You cannot do that with Iowa's offensive attack.
And so now Indiana, undefeated in the Big Ten, will get the ball for the first time. On the kickoff by the Hawkeyes, they're the only ones to have had it. Those 77 yards, it took them 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And we'll remind you the Hawkeyes are the favorites. But we'll remind you also that this Indiana team was in a struggle with Ohio State, tied at 10 in the first half, and won it in the second half, 31-10. And also, in the second half, they have outscored their opponents 34-3. So the statistics are still there for Indiana, but at the moment the scoreboard reads Iowa 7 and Indiana nothing.
Quickly, 7-0.
Quickly is right. 27, Ernie Jones. He is the all-everything. Second in the Big Ten. Ken Allen is back there. Whoops. Not so much of a return there for Spud Washington, a wide receiver. 7-0. They've got the ball at the 20. Let's go to Dave Dials.
Here, and he made it look easy.
Thank you, Dave. That's no surprise. Notre Dame scoring early and threatening again. They got it going with Tony Rice, the option quarterback. Ball at the 20 now. 1st and 10. Schnell, Thompson, and Poltz, the setbacks, and Allen and Jones, the wide receivers. That's Thompson. Gets a yard or two, and that is all. Joe Schuster, the senior tackle, brought him down. Again, Schnell, second to Hartlieb in passing efficiency, the quarterback. Thompson, 4th in the Big Ten in rushing. Poltz, the fullback. Ernie Jones and Kenny Allen, the wide receivers. There's Schnell. 2nd down and 8 to go. There's Schnell back for his first pass. Unlike Hartlieb, he doesn't have much time. Good arm, though, and throws, and is incomplete. Intended for Tim Jordan, his tight end, number 86, who, by the way, happy birthday, Tim Jordan. He was 21 yesterday. Said happy birthday last week to Carlos Snow, and he scored 4 touchdowns.
See the double team effort that they have to put on Hayden. At least they started 64, the nose guard. That's going to be a key in the ball game. Again, you'll see Schnell most of the day. He has the ability. His competitive nature will get him away from the pressure. Good throw, just not able to secure it away.
3rd down and long, about 8. It is Ernie Jones who leads in receiving yardage, not Quinn Early, as I said, but he is 2nd. And with those 35 yards, may have caught Jones. Now here's Thompson. Thompson does not get the first down. Out to about the 27-yard line. For Indiana, offensively, their line, Tim Jordan, the tight end, the tackle, Chris Simons, Tim Ratke, a guard, Brian Finney at center, Don Schrader, the right guard, and Eric Moore, the right tackle. And now, back to punt is Dan Przinski. Peter Marciano is the man who is deep. Przinski averaging about 41 yards. Averaged better than 53 yards and 3 punts last week against Michigan. Barely gets out of the way, goes straight up in the air. Marciano, fair catch. About the 45, dropped the ball, falls on it at the 46, and Iowa leads 7-0 and has an outstanding field position. We'll come back with more Big Ten football in a moment. The score here at Iowa City, Iowa, 7-0. The Hawkeyes lead the Hoosiers. Iowa's defense did a good job, but they're still being talked to. This game is far from being over. And the Iowa offense, with Hartlieb having all the time in the world on every single one of his passes, starts from the 46. This is Travis Watkins trying to get untracked, and he will be forced out of bounds by Darren Bush, an inside linebacker, number 40. But a pickup out to the 40, let's call it the 8-yard line, 2nd down and 8.
What is key about that particular statistic, in their losses, they've only averaged 23 yards a game. In their wins, you see, they've been able to establish their running game. Iowa with Chuck Hartlieb, with Quinn Early in their throwing game, but they've got to have the running game. And Indiana's mentality today is let's stop that rushing game. If that's a trend, let's continue it.
2nd down 8. Hudson, the fullback, running room. Submarine by Brian DeWitt and put down inside the 40-yard line. Another first down for the Hawkeyes, moving very well against the defense of Indiana.
Indiana's defense has been very reactive, but this is a big Iowa offensive line, and they're a little bit banged up. They've got different people in positions. 3 of their 5 starters didn't start at the Michigan State game, and the positions are playing today. But they're able to get Indiana out of tempo, and they're going to cause Indiana to be a little bit more conservative in their play because they're having success in running the ball.
7-0 Iowa, first down Iowa, inside the 40-yard line. Here's Tony Stewart. Stewart down to about the 30-yard line. And again, Brian DeWitt's the man in on the tackle.
I think the greatest fear of the Indiana coaches coming into the ball game, at least defensively, is that if Iowa would be able to run the ball, They're assaulting Indiana right now, and they get all the pluses if they're able to establish the running game, because now they can do anything that they want to really with Indiana. And so if they are effective in the running game, then that's the plus that they want.
Long play here on 2nd down 2. No, they give it to Hudson, the fullback, and Hudson's got the first down. Hudson gets down to about the 26-yard line, the senior out of Waxahachie, Texas. Indiana really has had the ball for 3 plays and a punt, and we've gone past 5.5 minutes of the first quarter. For Bill Mallory's troops, it is a very slow start. Look at this, Boston College over Tennessee in the first quarter. Miami 7, East Carolina 3. We expect at least that. Tennessee playing without the first-string quarterback. Look out, the blitz is on. Hartlieb gets it away and almost intercepted. Going high in the air was Dan Bauer, number 55, a junior tackle out of Beech Grove, Indiana, but the ball was over his head as Hartlieb almost unloaded into trouble. It is 2nd down 10 at the 25-yard line. 9:01 left. Cloudy day, brisk day, expected to be in the 60s, and all of Iowa very upset because for the trick-or-treaters tonight they expect rain. Watkins wide to the left, and Devin Harvitz comes to the right. That's Hudson, the fullback, slowed down by Darren Bush, the linebacker, number 40, and contained inside the 25. And now a rare 3rd and long situation for Iowa. Play comes in from Marv Cook. Jim Sams, after Bush tripped him up, put down Hudson. Sams, everybody will be quick to tell, he comes from Union, Iowa, playing for Indiana. 3rd and about 9 from the 24. The blitz was on, they picked it up, and there's the catch for the first down. Getting up is Marv Cook. The blitz was on, Hartlieb did an outstanding job, and Cook made a diving catch. And the ball is inside the 15-yard line, and the Hawkeyes stay alive.
Excellent job by Chuck Hartlieb, the senior, the smart. Here's the guy that has the experience of the program. He saw the blitz coming, and all he's got to do, he knows he's going to get a safety having to come because everybody else is cleared out of the area. He takes the heat off the ball and just drops it in where Cook, with his athletic ability, can make the catch.
2 tight ends, and they're running the ball with Stewart inside the 10-yard line, and that's about a 5-yard pickup going straight ahead for the freshman Tony Stewart. And Indiana's having a difficult time stopping Iowa, and its own offense has had the ball but 3 plays.
And when you're able to run the ball, then it creates all the other opportunities. Right now, Hartlieb is 5 of 7 for 80 yards early in the first quarter of the ball game, and they've got the luxury of being able to do anything that they want to against Indiana.
Iowa off to a very fast start. And there's Stewart, put down after a yard or 2. Again, Darren Bush was the first to hit him to slow him up and allow the next man to come in and get him. And that was Jim Sams again. But the ball is on the 7-yard line, 3rd down and short in this 7-0 game. Again, Marv Cook comes in. Indiana's only allowed 2 touchdowns in the first quarter this season. They've already allowed 1 and could be a second here. They hope not. Iowa fans hope so. Richard Bass is the fullback. And here comes Hartlieb out of bounds. Does not have the first down. Maybe picked up a half a yard. So it is 4th down. And do you go to Houghtlin for sure 3? Or the way controlling the line of scrimmage as Iowa's offensive line is, do you go for the big first down and try to nail Indiana?
I know that one of the things that's got to be going through Hayden Fry's mind right now, and I guess they're going to go for the field. Are they going to field goal?
Well, there's Houghtlin out there, number 7.
Yep. So one of the things that has to go through his mind is that Indiana's played with such emotion and fanatical effort. How can you take that away from them? Because that's a byproduct of the winning they've done. If you put points on the board, you take them out of it early, and maybe just keep the points on, get them in a 10-point hole. That's the thought right now.
22-yard field goal. Houghtlin doesn't miss often and does not miss here. And Iowa has broken on top. 6:49 to go. It is 10-0. And that sets an Iowa record of 46 field goals in a career. Iowa quarterback Chuck Hartlieb is from Woodstock, Illinois. Bill Mallory at Northern Illinois. And at Indiana tried to recruit him.
Coach Mallory recruited me at Northern Illinois and at Indiana, and I had tremendous respect for him, and I think a lot of that Indiana program over there and the school. But in the long run, I felt that Iowa would be the school for me because of its tradition, and it was a little bit closer. But I always thought that Coach Mallory was going to bring the program up top, and obviously it's there right now.
I wonder if he'd speak to you now, Chuck, after what you've done to him so far today. Had an outstanding day. But Hayden Fry might remember something. The first time he lost here at Kinnick Stadium, he was leading Indiana 26-0 and lost. So I'm sure the Iowa fans are very confident. Looks good. Doesn't look good for the moment for Indiana. It's only 10-0. But Fry might think, oh boy.
And I said at the beginning of the ball game that I really believe that every victory that Indiana earns from this point on will be much more difficult. Beating Michigan, Ohio State is now behind them. The victories will become more tough as they go into the season. And obviously, this will be a tough victory today.
Ernie Jones, the man standing deep in the middle. Spud Washington back there. And Ken Allen. Last time was Spud Washington, who didn't have a handle on the ball. Houghtlin, who just set the Iowa field goal record with 46 kicks off. And this may be Spud Washington again, but it's going to go out of bounds. There's Chuck Hartlieb. Whoop, there was Chuck Hartlieb talking upstairs. What a career he's had since he became the head coach. Or head coach. The starting quarterback. Just thrown his 9th touchdown pass. Offensive player of the week in the Midwest last week for Purdue, where he threw for 317 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, Iowa, of course, will kick off from the 35-yard line. The 30-yard line, check it. And the same 3 go deep. Allen, Jones in the middle, and Washington on the far side. Now, to be honest, this has been all Iowa. If you've been watching, all Iowa so far. Indiana's had the ball, but for 3 plays plus a punt. Iowa drove 77 yards for the first score and got the ball on their 46 and wound up with a field goal for their second score. High again, Spud Washington. Danger of stepping out of bounds. He gets across the 20. And down he goes rather definitively at the 29-yard line where it's first down. Our score 10-0. Let's check in with Dave Dials. All right, Dave, and Indiana fans will be hoping that the Hoosiers can get something going here. Starting a little bit better off, although they were on the 20-yard line last time. Now they start from the 29. The up man, and that's Tom Poltz, goes nowhere. The senior fullback just gets absolutely nowhere. Now we have a chance to set the defense for Iowa. They've been on defense so little. Mott Thomas, Haight, he's the good nose guard. Schuster and Burke, linebackers Puck and Quast. And in the secondary, Hanks, Wright, Burt, and Sistrunk. Second down and 10 from the 29. Snell off the hands and might be intercepted. No, it is not. Diving for it was Sistrunk, could not hold on to it. And Iowa continues to frustrate Indiana.
Jim, even though the play could have been disastrous, what you have to be excited about is watching Dave Snell sit in the pocket with confidence and poise, even though the ball was hitting Thompson on the hand, and that was a dangerous position to be in. But it's the confidence of Snell to sit in there where the pressure's around him and throw the pass.
Third down and 10 from the 29. Receiver Kenny Allen, at least 5 to 7 yards over his head, and for the second time Indiana gets 3 plays And will have to punt the ball away. A little altercation between Andre Powell and one of the Iowa men. And the officials quickly dispelled that.
What happened? Indiana got out of sequence. It's obvious you're going to have to throw the ball. They're only rushing 4 men. Then Dave Schnell has to throw the ball into coverage. He threw it high, lost a little poise. So did a couple of other Indiana players.
Peter Marciano is the man who is deep, and Brzezinski to kick the ball away. High again. Again, no fair catch called for here, despite the fact it was that high, and gets a couple of yards out of it. 5:49 to go in the first quarter, and we'll come right back with more Big Ten football in a moment. Our score at Iowa City, Iowa 10, Indiana nothing.
This is Ann Early. Her son, Quinn Early, gave Iowa an early 7-0 lead in this game with an outstanding catch, and he's made a bunch of them for Iowa in his career. And you come out for almost every home game from New York City, don't you?
Yes, I do.
When he first started playing football, you weren't really wild about it, were you?
No, I wasn't. He was only 7 years old, and it was very frightening.
He has turned out to be, in the opinion of many, certainly one of the top receivers in Iowa history, and many of the top receivers from the past say he may be the best all-around receiver. He's had a great career.
I didn't understand what you just said.
He's had a great career here at Iowa.
Yes, it is. It's been very exciting.
Thank you very much. Quinn Early, of course, has had a great career at Iowa. This is Ann Early, who makes the trip out from New York for almost every Iowa home game. A long way.
Thank you.
The Hawkeyes are doing well. Stewart carries the ball and gets out to about the 44, where it'll be 2nd down and 4. As I recall the story about Ann Early, when one of the rare times she went to see Quinn in an early game, he broke away in a long run, and she ran right down the sidelines with him. That's my boy. 130 yards for Iowa, 7 for Indiana. Obviously no first down, no completed pass by Schnell.
Well, the other stat is that Indiana's only had 6 running plays or 6 offensive plays, and they punted twice.
That's Hudson trying to get wide, being chased out there, and is chased down by Willie Bates. They'll move the sticks again. They've moved into Indiana territory again. First down at the 49.
Yeah, I think what's got to be the concern right now, Bill Mallory, is the defense. They've got to get some success against Iowa. They've got to be able to isolate some aspect of the game they control. So far, nothing has worked for them. They've got to take some chances, do something to create some emotion, opportunity, so the defense can get the ball to their offense.
Ohio State got only 10 points against Indiana. Michigan got only 10. But already Iowa's got 10. That's Hudson carrying the ball again and getting down about the 45-yard line. And again, Willie Bates, one of the men in on the tackle, along with Jim Sands, has been around that ball a lot. Bill Mallory concerned. His team in the Big Ten leads it. They're 4-0. 6-1-0. Hayden Fry on the other side says we've got a chance in the Big Ten. His team looks good today. But if he doesn't make it to the Big Ten, if Iowa doesn't make it to the Big Ten, I can tell you that representatives of the Peach, Holiday, Independence, All-America, Blue Bonnet, Freedom, and Liberty Bowl are here. Here comes Stewart. Knocked out of bounds by Joe Ziegler, the sophomore, number 16. But that's another first down, and the Hawkeyes are making it look easy.
Van Waiters, number 48, the outside linebacker for Indiana, is the big play man that has to make things happen. He's going to get sucked inside and cannot make the play outside. He loses containment. Good effort, a guard and Bass is on him outside. And so now you're able to see Tony Stewart, the freshman player, break to the outside. Waiters has got to have a key game today. He's got to contribute the big play category for Indiana to stop Iowa.
The best 2 wide receivers, Early and Watkins, are wide to the left. And that's Hudson, the fullback, getting a couple of yards. Up top is Darren Bush, but the couple of folks down at the bottom, including Dan Bauer, number 55.
To this point, Indiana being 6-1, the mentality of defense, the way they play defense, is the old cliche of bend but don't break, and that yards don't necessarily equate to points. They've been a very patient defense. They've waited on offenses to make mistakes. What's happened, Iowa's had 2 scoring drives, not made any mistakes, and they may not make any today. It seems like they're playing very well and very confident.
Hartlieb was was not the starting quarterback, of course, at the beginning of the season, but he sure looks good now, doesn't he? Now they've decided to just run at this Indiana defense. Stewart carrying the ball there. Remember, primarily their first drive of 77 yards was through the air. Hartlieb threw a lot, was almost intercepted on the second drive, in which he got 3 points. But on this particular drive, he is strictly on the ground.
Let's watch the tight end. Let's see how Indiana is playing against their tight end. That's number 35, Joe Huff.
Oh, he's got him, hasn't he?
I would say Joe's got him right. That's about a 9.9 on the whole scale there, Joe.
3rd down and 2 from the 21. And they'll give it to Tony Stewart. And he does not get it. That is Willie Bates down at the bottom. Number 81. It's 4th down. And do you go with your man again? Who is Houghtlin? They went for the easy 3 down when they were in closer.
I think they'll go for it this time.
They're going to go for it.
I want to think about this one a little bit.
Yep, they'll call time. 2:23 to go. It is all Iowa. They've got a 4th and 1 when they come back. They lead by 10 points first quarter. 10-0 Iowa, and there's Houghtlin out again. Remember, he's already got 1 field goal to set the Iowa record at 46. And now from 37 yards out, we thought, the way Hartlieb was still on the field, that they would go ahead and go for the first down. But Hartlieb is staying on the field only to hold. So from 37 yards out to make it 13-0, Houghtlin try. It's another good one. And there are 13 unanswered points that Iowa's put on the board against Indiana. Houghtlin with 2 field goals is 46 and 47, and the 35-yard flea flicker play from Hartlieb to Early. Bill Mallory has got a lot of confidence in his quarterback, Dave Schnell, and this game is far from being over. We asked Mallory about Schnell.
Well, I think Dave's just gotten better. You know, I think back early in the season, he started out well against Rice. He had some problems against Kentucky, but it was a good learning game for him. And you got to look and see, there's a young man that didn't have a whole lot of experience. And so as the season's progressed, he's just gotten better. And I think he's a very fine quarterback.
Well, Dave Schnell is going to have to come to the fore here because Indiana finds itself down by 13 points with 2:18 to go in the first quarter. They have been an outstanding second half team, as we've indicated, but you'd better stay close in the first half. I don't know if it's Halloween or they show up like that for every game, but it's a lot of fun, isn't it? 42 yards and 8 plays with a 37-yard field goal. And remember, Indiana, when they get the ball this time, will try for the first time to pick up at least a first down. They've had it for 3 plays and punted, 3 plays and punted.
I think that's the important part, is that Indiana just cannot afford to panic. They've got to have some success, though. They've got to generate 1st and 10s and get the emotional edge and back the confidence. Right now, they have no confidence, probably, in being. They haven't moved the ball at all. They've not had any success, so they've got to do something to generate some things that have been very important to them prior to this ball game.
There's Ernie Jones in the middle, but Spud Washington on the far side has gotten all of the kicks. They've been putting it to one side, and Washington's going to get another at the 14. Little wide receiver. Doesn't take much to put him down. He's only 5'8". 13-0. We're still in the first quarter. Let's go to Dave Dials. Illinois will go to Bloomington, Indiana, and Steve and Dave and John and I and all the Big Ten Network folks will be there. Penalty on this play, taking the ball back to the 20-yard line. Big O block. That's Gil Marchman, the referee. Our umpires, Bob Pickens. Mark Baltz is the head linesman. Line judge, John Langlow. George Solomon, the field judge. Side judge is Dick Honig. And the back judge is Bill Carollo. It is 1st and 10 from the 20. Snell over the head of Jones, who takes a pop from Sistrunk after the ball passes him. And it's 2nd down.
Jim, you'll remember in the interview that Bill Mallory talking about Dave Schnell, He talked about the Kentucky game. He lost his poise in the game. He was throwing the ball high. He didn't have the confidence. He's thrown 2 balls in this ball game already over the receivers. I just wonder if there's not a little shaken confidence by Dave Schnell. Obviously, statistically, he's not the confident Dave Schnell. He's not the 61% passer right now.
Hartlieb 5 for 7, Schnell 0 for 4. Second down 10. And remember, Iowa does have the #1 defense. Look at this. Thompson's going no place. No place at all. Down the bottom again is Joe Schuster, number 72.
On the first down play, Indiana goes to throw the ball. On the second down play in 10, they run the football. What was interesting, the reason they came into the ball game with that attitude, Iowa will give you more of a basic type defensive look on the first down plays. Indiana wanted to mix up the tempo. That's why they threw on the first down play, but he overthrew it. It was unsuccessful. Now they're 3rd and 12, and obviously a passing situation, and everybody in the stadium knows it.
Now setting up something to Pulse, his fullback, who can't hold on to the football. And for the 3rd consecutive time, Indiana has the ball for 3 plays and must punt. And they haven't gotten a good punt off yet.
And they're playing against 11 men on the field and 70-plus thousand in the stadium.
Go again, Brzezinski. Will kick the ball standing inside his own 5-yard line. That is where he will start. Marciano is all the way up to the 40-yard line of Iowa and inching forward. Gets it away. Marciano at the 46. He is in Indiana territory at the 46-yard line. And again, outstanding field position for the Hawkeyes, already leading 13-0 over Indiana, number 10 in the nation, and undefeated in the Big Ten. Notre Dame roaring past Navy. North Carolina handling Maryland. That's the battle for the lead in the ACC. Ohio over Eastern Michigan by 3. And Hartlieb comes out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hayden Fry doesn't try to get it all right here early in this drive.
Tell you what, even the most rabid Indiana fan, as downcast as he or she may be, must admit that this has been all Iowa so far. They're looking for the big turnaround. The line, offensive line of Iowa clearly moved before the snap, so it'll be 1st and 15. And that's one of the rare miscues that Iowa's had today. Certainly their first penalty. But they've done almost everything right. That's where you go back, Steve, to those comments that every coach gives you. Well, we must play a perfect game on both sides of the ball. We must blah, 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 blah. Well, here's Iowa doing just about that at the moment.
Well, good football, winning is simply talent and execution, not making mistakes, not beating yourself. And more times you will beat yourself offensively because of those kind of mistakes. And Iowa has just not done that in this ball game so far. Who is that there? Who's that guy? I love it. I say, trick or treat, everybody.
Ball on the 49-yard line after the penalty. And it's 1st and 15. And Bill Marchman, the official referee, they're correcting the clock, apparently. They started the clock. And the official blew the whistle, said illegal procedure. So 3 seconds had run off and no play had been run off. So they put 3 seconds back on. 1:11 to go in the first quarter. First down, 15. Hartlieb, short drop. Ball is caught across the way. And that is Devin Harberts with his second catch of the day. And he picks up about 10 yards. Make it about 9. Second down and 6.
If you saw the kickoff classic and where Iowa played Tennessee, they lost that ball game. You'll remember that Chuck Hartlieb was the young man down close on the end zone or going in to score, pitched the ball on an errant pitch on the option play, and the Tennessee player went the distance of the field. Chuck Hartlieb's come a long way from that particular situation in terms of his confidence and his ability, his talent.
Second down, 6 to go. Hartlieb has all the time in the world and fires across there. For the man out of the backfield, that is Tony Stewart. Check that. That was Kevin Harmon, who has the ankle injury, replaced Stewart and caught that pass. 3rd and 3 from the 39 of Indiana. 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. 9 offensive plays, 3 punts for Indiana. Iowa has scored on every possession. Touchdown to begin with a 35-yard flea flicker pass play and 2 field goals. And look at this backfield here as they're going on 3rd down and short. With the ball to Harmon, and Harmon does not get it. It'll be 4th down and about a yard, maybe less, from the 37-yard line. They've got to get the nose of the ball to the 36. And here's another one of those decisions for Hayden Fry. Each of the other times from closer in, he has gone for the field goal, but here he is so far out. But nevertheless, they're taking some time out because it's the end of the first quarter. 13-0. Iowa leads Indiana. Apparently, Rob Houghtlin, as we begin the second quarter, is going to try a 53-yard field goal. He has hit a 55-yarder already this year. We say apparently, reminding you that Hartlieb is the quarterback, who is the man who is holding the ball. A bad snap. And this one hits and bounces back. So for the first time today, Iowa has been stopped. And it'll be rather good field position for Indiana and Dave Snell to get something going.
They're the stats from the first half, and you can tell that Indiana has been doing nothing. They've been only, they've had 3 drives. They've had 3 drives, so 9 plays and the 3 punts. And then it's been all Iowa controlling the clock. The statistics showing the balance that Iowa wanted to create in terms of passing and rushing yards. It's been all Iowa.
5 yards total for Indiana, 182 for Iowa. Now, with the ball at their own 36, almost a 37. Let's see what they can do. Howell is the fullback. This is Thompson. Thompson ridden down after getting down to about the 43-yard line. J.J. Puck and Dave Haight made the stop.
One of the concerns that Indiana had is how to control Dave Haight, the senior, the nose guard, great speed and talent to be able to run sideline to sideline. Nobody stops him, and there is Dave Haight, the nose guard, making the tackle on Thompson outside.
2nd down 4, and that's the biggest offensive play that Indiana's had all day. That is Andre Powell being stood up there by the linebacker J.J. Puck, number 32.
One of the things about Indiana coming into the ball game, they have just really conceded the point that in the running game, it's going to take 2 people to block Dave Haight, that nose guard 64. And here's a guy that just does not quit on the play. He just makes the tackles. There are a lot of better athletes than he is, but he makes the plays. Look what he has done for Iowa. Leads the team with tackles in 71, tackles for losses, fumble recovers, all the stats. He is such a key part of this Iowa defense. Very reactive player.
That's the first down for Indiana, and Snell calls timeout. Came up with the first down at the 48-yard line and called timeout with 13:45 to go in the half. We'll come right back with more Big Ten football in a moment. The score to Iowa City, Iowa, 13-0 Iowa. First down, Indiana at their own 48-yard line. Jones in motion. Snell with the ball. Snell has a man open, and it's caught by Buford. Buford knocked down out of bounds. Another first down for Indiana. They put them back to back.
That's a big hurdle for Dave Schnell to find his completion, to finding Tony Buford, the redshirt junior. Buford, what's great, he doesn't have the outstanding speed, but his routes are so precise. You watch him on film, he looks like a pro-type receiver, and his breaks of driving the defensive back and then making the right cut and the right move, and that's what's impressive about Buford. Good throw and catch.
And Merton Hanks put him out of bounds. Ball is at the 38-yard line of Iowa. Biggest threat by far by Indiana. Of course, they've lost the football, and Powell jumps on it. Well, Poltz dropped a pass, a little swing pass, one fullback, and now Powell fumbles the football. And that slows Indiana for the moment. It is second down at about 10.
Let's see if Dave Haight had something to do with the fumble. He is so quick. All Finney can do is try to take him where he wants to go. Watch his left hand, the paw, going inside, stripping the ball carrier, Powell, 31 of the ball. Haight's big, strong guy. Knocked the ball away. Gives his team an opportunity if they fall in the fumble.
13-0 Iowa. Indiana moving. Second down at the 38 of Iowa. Snell has Ernie Jones there, but it's going to be almost intercepted by Sistrunk. You could see Snell looking right at Jones, his favorite receiver. Sistrunk was about 7 yards behind him, could see it also, and just made the move and kept right in front of him, but couldn't hold on to it.
We've not had the pleasure of seeing Ernie Jones in a big play opportunity. He's also a very good route runner, but the ball was a little delayed. Sistrunk was able to react to it. There's the junior college transfer, a super tough defensive back, aggressive, has a knack for the ball. That time reacted and almost had a big home run.
6 passes broken up for Sistrunk, who is the nephew of Otis Sistrunk of NFL fame. 3rd and 10. Indiana doesn't want to get bogged down here. Over the head of Jones again. That is the 3rd pass that Snell has thrown very high, and it's 4th down.
Let's see Ernie Jones breaking it in terms of the route. Again, remember Dave Schnell overthrew the ball in the Kentucky game, again throwing the ball high. As Jim said, it was the 3rd time he's thrown the ball high.
And so now, again, Straczynski is back to punt, standing at midfield. Marciano, the punt returner, is standing at the 10. Straczynski angling toward the left side. Marciano will let this one go. Let's see where it goes. This will be good for Indiana. That is the worst field position by far for Iowa. They will start first down at their own 7-yard line. Carolina and Maryland and Clemson are all in it for the ACC, but Maryland is taking the pipe today. Boston College still over Tennessee. The Volunteers playing without their #1 quarterback. Harvard leads Brown. Our director, La Savita, loves that. He's one of the boys from the yard. Clemson, after being upset by North Carolina State over Wake Forest, 7-0. Our score is 13-0. On a day that was supposed to be about 60, increasing clouds, it's about 48 and very cloudy. First down Iowa up by 13 points at their own 7. That is Hudson being a workhorse today. Getting out to the 10, maybe the 11-yard line, and that is all. Iowa fans glad to see Kevin Harmon back in the ball game. Tony Stewart did get 80 yards against Purdue last week, but Harmon, leading ground gainer with an ankle injury, is back. Snell 1 for 7. Hartlieb 7 for 9, including a 35-yard touchdown. 2nd and 7 from the 10. There is Hudson again. This time he runs into a wall. Not much there.
I made a comment earlier that 3 of the 5 people in the offensive line of of Iowa did not start at their positions in the Michigan State game that we did earlier in the season. Alexander was at guard. He's moved over to tackle. Smith is a new starter. Anderson is at center. And then they've gone with Divis, who is starting at the right guard, in Wester. So they're a little bit mixed up, and they're trying to find, because of injuries and different things that happen during the course of the season, get their best player in the offensive line. But they've had some problems.
Third down and 3. Iowa's not been in a third down situation before in their own territory. And apparently they have made a move in the line that's going to make it third down and 8.
Yeah, it is.
Delay of game. It'll be third down and 8. And they'll start from inside their own 10. Indiana, Steve, has to be talking to itself. We did move the ball a little bit. Dave threw it overthrew a couple of times. And now we're beginning, after a good punt, to hold Iowa. And they're hoping maybe the momentum can turn around because Iowa really came out of the blocks in a hurry. Big play. Third and 8 from the 8. And they'll run the football. And Harmon will not get the first down. So they'll have to kick it away. Now let's see who's going to go there. Marv Cook, a tight end, is going to kick over Mark Adams or Ross Blunt, the two regular kickers. Marv Cook, a tight end. So Indiana's got 10 men up for his punt. Now they're breaking some back. A line drives a kick and it hits at the 41, and Buford will let it go, and it'll go inside the 35, I'm sure, maybe inside the 30, and he does an outstanding job. Cook gets the good bounce, and Indiana, instead of being perhaps at midfield, now back on with about their own 24-yard line. 9:45 to go. First half, Iowa leads by 13 over Indiana. The only touchdown of the game was from Hartlieb on a flea flicker to Early. We talked to Chuck Hartlieb about his favorite receiver, Quinn Early.
He is excellent on the field and off the field in that he's an excellent communicator. When we get off the sidelines, we do a lot of talking and what he thinks he can get open on and, you know, what we all think is going to work. And I think that was the #1 thing last week, which happened, is we came off the field a lot and talked about things and ways to get open. And, you know, there's no doubt Quinn's going to do the job on the field. I really think he's one of the best in the Big Ten, if not in the country.
Well, he also happens to be an outstanding long jumper in the Big Ten, may go for the Olympics, and is a commercial artist hopeful, and his work is very good. It helps illustrate the program here at Iowa. Thompson has not had much today and doesn't get much there. Maybe a yard out to the 25-yard line. And Iowa defense #1 in the Big Ten is just awfully tough on them, led by Hayden, just now getting up. West Virginia, Penn State, 7-all. I was telling you, West Virginia won at Penn State in decades. Boston College still leads Tennessee, this time by 3 at the half. Miami cruising along, one of the best teams in the country, 14-3 over Indiana. Notre Dame having an easy time with Navy, 28-6. Arkansas and Rice, 7-all first quarter. Second down and 9. Holtz is back in, and Snell will run the ball for the first time and not get much at all. Indiana's offense being stymied, and Snell on the first 2 plays chose to hand off to a fullback and run it himself.
You know when Indiana starts running the option play that they're searching for some offensive success. They're not an option football team. They're trying to find some winning combination that gives them some success and some confidence in this ball game. You know, the first play they go at the strength of the Iowa defense at Dave Haight, 64, who's just been eating them up. Then they run an option play, so they're obviously trying to find their identity right now in this ball game.
3rd and 7 from the 26. Being pursued by Haight, gets the ball away. Jones takes a hit by Merton Hanks on the far side, and a flag is down. And speaking of flags coming down, rain is beginning to come down. Is that just chasing us all over the Big Ten? Seems like it, doesn't it? Joe Marchman is the man who will tell us what it is. Ernie Jones is convinced that Sistrunk simply hit him too soon.
Was it? I think it was Hanks.
Hanks, I mean. It was Hanks. Number 45.
Ernie Jones working on 45, the redshirt freshman, Merton Hanks. This is his first year to start, and let's see.
You'll see him come in.
There he's coming. Good job by Jones breaking to find the ball. There he is right there, 45. No doubt about it. Going through the receiver, well ahead of the ball.
First down, Indiana, 13-0 Iowa, 8:16 to go in the first half. On first down, Snell will pass. Has time now running out. What moves he has, and he gets the ball away. No good, intended for his tight end, Tim Jordan. And he threw into triple coverage there. Lucky there was no interception. It's second down 10. use a symbol, huh? Never thought of that.
You know, watching film of Indiana against Ohio State, you saw a confident Dave Schnell. One of the things that I did not see in the ball game that I'm trying to kind of preview or review a little bit is that he always seemed like a confident passer with the ball up around the chest. Right now the ball's around his waist. He's keeping it down and having to bring it up. And he just doesn't seem like he's got the confidence that he's had in earlier games.
Second down 10, has time this time and has a man out here, and that is Jones sliding down at the 50 for the first down. For the first time today, Schnell passes to Jones. Two other passes are complete a pass to Jones. Two other passes have been overthrown. And of course there was one interference and now this sliding catch.
What everyone likes about Ernie Jones, number 27, is first of all his ability on his breaks and then to catch the ball, but his post yardage after catch is what has really been a key. Good speed, smooth route runner, just a real class receiver, big time receiver, 6 foot, 185-pound senior.
First down from midfield. Snell fires it out here. It is bobbled as he went out of bounds, but they say he's got the ball. That was Tim Jordan, who makes the catch for a 9-yard gain down to the 41.
If Indiana is going to have success offensively, they've got to figure out a combination on Dave Haight, number 64, the nose guard. This time they've committed a double team. He's working right there against Schrader, 77. Can't tell. They kind of have a mutual affection for each other. There's no doubt about that. There's somebody else coming in. Just keep battering him, keep pushing him, keep him away from the quarterback, and give Schnell a chance to throw the ball.
They're going to measure to see whether or not it is a first down, because where they have spotted the ball, the nose of the ball is almost on the 40. If it is on the 40, they've got a first down.
There was some discussion whether or not he had control when he went out of bounds. No, the Iowa
big
coaches,
discussion.
Yeah, big discussion.
Big discussion.
At least verbal discussion.
Northwestern and Michigan, no score in the second quarter. At Michigan, Dartmouth beating Yale 7-0 first quarter. Iowa's looking for a new university president. Their 4 prime candidates announced yesterday because their president of Iowa resigned to go to Dartmouth. Speaking of the Dartmouth-Yale score there, he's now the president of Dartmouth. Second down and inches to go for Dave Schnell and Indiana, undefeated in the Big Ten, but down 13-0. 7.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Light rain falling on Kinnick Stadium, always a sellout. 67,700 people. Snell on second and short. Going for Jones. He's got a touchdown. 2 men on his back, a third in the vicinity, and Jones makes the touchdown catch. His 10th touchdown catch of the year. And Indiana is back in the ball game. Their best combination gets them well. The 8 games played thus far this year, including this one, Jones has now caught a pass for a touchdown in 7 of them. Stoyanovich will try to add the extra point with Jordan to hold, and does, and all of a sudden it is 10-7 with 7 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the half.
Boy, what's so exciting is the ability of Ernie Jones to make the catch. You'll see Dave Haight get buried. We'll see that replay in a minute. But what was really the ability of Schnell to get away from pressure. It's not a very pretty pass, but watch Jones around 3 defenders pull the ball down. When coaches talk about him, we'll see it from the end zone this time. When they talk about him, his ability, they talk about his great hands, good fake. See the linebacker, there's Quast. He bites down on it. Haight's on the ground. Schnell getting away from pressure. And watch Ernie Jones around. There are 2 guys right there and just able to concentrate on the ball. Watch Ernie Jones, the receiver. Here's a guy that was suspended from the team a couple of years ago, Bill Mallory. Here's a guy that's turned his life around. Great speed, intensity. The coaches say he's become a leader. And now watch him become the great receiver that he is. This is why he's the best. Has to slow down for the ball. I tell you, the ball, there was interference. There was a ball that was touched. It was touched, and then the concentration to put it away.
These 2 men, Jones, well, let's watch Dave Haight first.
Here's what happened. Haight, it just gets buried. He makes a decision. There was a slant on, and he goes inside, and then they just bury him, and then they pin him for 2 points. Is that a 2-point pin or 3?
I was about to say, as you look at Jones back there, that he and Dave Schnell played on teams against each other back in Elkhart, Indiana. But they've hooked up for this 41-yard touchdown pass here as their teammates on Iowa. And Jones was a member of Bill Mallory's first crew at Indiana when they went 0-11. And now they're looking for the Rose Bowl and are 6-1. Yanovich kicking off. Lost the football, and it's recovered by Stoyanovich. The kicker gets the ball, and now the things that were going off for Iowa seem to have turned around. And the ball is at the 41-yard line of Iowa.
All season long, this Indiana football team has been a team that has had to play together. They've had to play with fanatical effort. They've had to play bend, don't break on defense, and then they've had to hope for people to make mistakes, and then they had to be opportunistic. The ball is stripped away right there by Eric Hickerson, 45, and the kicker is able to fall on the ball.
Stewart labeled with the fumble, and Indiana down by 6 now at the 41 of Iowa. First down. And some boos being heard from the Iowa crowd. And here's Andre Powell, and he gets about 5 yards. That's one of the best first down plays Indiana's had thus far. And Tony Stewart, who returned that ball, is being worked on the sidelines. Apparently he took quite a hit, and they're working on him, injured on the sidelines. Second down and 5. Remember, in the first quarter, Indiana had 5 yards. Iowa had 132, and it ended 13-0. Second quarter is almost the opposite. Pitch back to Thompson. He's got some room out there. That is closed down very well by Merton Hanks.
Interesting contrast, Jim, because you've got to realize Iowa's a team that's had success. They're the confident team. They're playing in their own backyard today. They've been through the frustrating times, and they've been the team that usually will come out with a win. Indiana's had to be resilient. They've had to be the team to fight back through their problems. And having 5 yards in the first quarter, that's no big deal. Their whole career they've been 5 yards in the first quarter. So I think that their resilience and their confidence of having been here before, and now if they can get good things to happen, it's a positive for Indiana.
Third and 3 from the 33. Fake to Powell. Snell keeps the ball very close to first down. May have it, if not, close enough for a measurement. That's the kind of play on which Snell scored the second touchdown against Michigan last week in Bloomington, where we will be next week. Not necessarily with him, but we will be there.
The guy's got an ugly green face now, I'm telling you.
Illinois comes to Bloomington next week, and Stephen, John, and I and the entire Big Ten crew will be there. Big measurement here for both squads. And Snell, well, let's see what they tell. Get your piece of paper
card out or something.
That far to go. Fourth down and inches.
You got to go for it.
And they're bringing another tight end, so I would assume they're going for it.
You got to go away from Dave Haight, though. I promise you that play.
Well, no part of him. Terrence Saunders checks in. Inches to go. All right, you're the quarterback, but I would imagine Snell, although he's right in front of Haight, isn't he?
They're very strong inside. I might take my chances outside with Iowa right now.
4th down and an inch or two. Snell takes it, goes away from Haight, picks up the 1st down. Took the step to the right, gets to the 30, 1st down Indiana.
You see so much movement out of Haight and everything when you evaluate Iowa on film. He's so quick. Sometimes he's too quick, and he will shoot the gun a little premature at times and get himself out of position. But he's been so good to react in a situation where he's made a mistake, and I think that's the plus for Iowa, at least their defense. That time Snell was able to guess right, went away from Haight, and got the 1st and 10.
Iowa defensive man hurt on the play, but he's staying in the game. Steve Thomas, a defensive lineman. First down. Jones in motion. And on 1st down, Snell will pass. Looking, overthrows, intercepted. Overthrows man, and Sistrunk picks it off. And down he goes at the 20-yard line. You throw high long enough. Remember, Sistrunk stepped in front of Jones and could not hold on to a ball moments ago. And now the ball is thrown right to him, and he picks off his 2nd interception.
I really believe that when you're throwing the ball high, what you're doing, you're not following through all the way. You're not really bearing down and confident and concentrating. Also, there was pressure there. That would sometimes cause you not to complete your release. He's overthrown 4 different receivers. This time, Sistrunk gets a pass and is able to make something happen. He makes the interception.
5:12 to go. First half, 13-7 Iowa. They did lead 13-0. Indiana was moving until Sistrunk got his 2nd interception on the high ball. And now Harmon carrying the football. Doesn't look like his ankle hurts him there, does it? Run out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 1st down Iowa. Run out of bounds by Brian DeWitt. Down in the rain on the sidelines, John Snyder.
In the rain, Jim, as usual, that's the way it's been. Hadn't it? Tony Stewart, the outstanding freshman running back for Iowa, sprained his left ankle. They've retaped it. He's expected to come back in the game, but it may not be in this half.
He was the one who was hit and fumbled. That set up a possibility of another Indiana score, only to be thwarted by the interception by Sistrunk. 1st down. Hartlieb. They're blitzing from behind, but he's going to run the ball and run away from the linebacker Van Waders, who puts it out of bounds. Hartlieb picks up some good yardage, and it'll be 2nd down at about 5 from the 37. And they're going to get a penalty, apparently, for a late hit after Hartlieb got out of bounds. Let's see.
There's Van Waders, 48. Some discussion on what happened on the sidelines. Is there a late hit?
That's Hanks.
45.
Eric Hickerson.
Did they flag it? I didn't see the flag.
No, they pointed.
They pointed.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see the flag, but they sure pointed at Indiana. And they're still in discussion on the far sideline. Now they're moving the football all the way into Indiana territory, down to the 48-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 Iowa. Michigan now is edged in front of Northwestern 3-0 in the 2nd quarter. Purdue leads Wisconsin 7-0. They took a beating last week here. Notre Dame now up by 29 over Navy at the half. And Arkansas barely holding his head above water against Rice. And look at this, 37 losses in a row. Can Columbia do it? Clemson beating Wake Forest 10-0.
Go Lions, go.
1st down from the 48-yard line. Harmon looking for some running room. Bagged down from behind by Jim Sams, who is everywhere, number 91, the junior out of Union, Iowa. That's a pickup of 8 yards. It's 2nd down and 2. Make it 9, 2nd and 1 from inside the 40.
The Iowa coaches were very excited about Kevin Harmon when he came into the season. He really made progress in the spring. They believe he was the best that he had ever been in his career here at Iowa. He was able to turn bad plays into good plays, and then an ankle injury, and it's caused the problems, and they wanted him to get well quicker.
And 179 yards against Iowa State. That's Hudson picking up the first down, I believe, at the 38-yard line. Clock continues to run. 4:10 to go. First half, 13-7. Iowa leads Indiana.
Part of the strength of the Indiana defense is obviously Van Waiters, number 48. Here's a guy that was disciplined early in his career at Indiana and has become another one of the leaders in this defensive front. He shoots the gap on Marv Cook, 84. He doesn't block him out, and he's able to make the play. Boy, what Waiters scares you about him. He's got big, long arms, and he protects his feet. He keeps people away from him, and he has such good range, a good outside linebacker.
Looking around the Big Ten, which is not making a big influence in the top 10 of the nation this year, you could look around and see some pretty darn good linebackers. Spielman, Pomeroy, Strickland, Leverance, Waiters. You can just go right down the line, and I probably missed a couple of real good ones. Now about the man who plays alongside of Waiters, Willie Bates on the inside for Indiana. Ball is at the 38, 3rd down, and let's call it about 6 inches. Quinn Early, who has caught the one pass, that 35 yards for a score, wide to the right. Everybody else in tight. And I think they snapped the ball. Indiana jump, flags are down. Indiana saying at the center, Bill Anderson, you could have lifted that ball or something because they jumped. Of course, if you're wrong, you always point that way. But Iowa is walking backwards. And again, a long consultation. Offside, Indiana. That'll give them the first down. So they did the jumping and pointing, saying that Anderson had moved the ball, and indeed he had not. Here's where Iowa wants to score, obviously, and where Bill Mallory's troops wants to keep this 13-7 at half minimum. Not let it get away. But now the Hawkeyes have a first down inside the 34 of Indiana. Mark Mazzaria, wide receivers, checked in for the first time. Number 40 comes wide to the left. Devin Harberts goes to the right. And now Early goes out of the backfield to flank right. And they give the ball to Hudson. Not much there for Hudson. Left by Van Waiters, along with Joe Ziegler, number 16. No gain on the play. 2nd down.
The play is designed to follow Dave Alexander, number 55. He's got to make the block. You're watching Van Waiters there reacting to the play. He's going to get away. Let's see. There's Alexander. 55 has got to make the block. Again, you saw Waiters keep people away from his feet. He jumped over him. That's one of the things that the coaches are tickled about in terms of his ability of being able to keep people away from your feet. And if you can keep your feet, keep your balance, stay up, you're able to make plays. And he's been able to do it quite well.
That's why it's all Big Ten. 2nd down. Here's Harbert. Another quick flip into Harmon. Harmon, saving tackle there. Flag is down.
Hartlieb's down.
Eric Coleman makes the saving tackle as Hartlieb gets slowly up. He took a whack. 3rd down and 4 to go. And Hartlieb is coming off, at least for the moment. Now remember, they are ankle deep in quarterbacks here. They've started for Holsky and McGuire. McGuire went down against Michigan State in the 5th game of the season. Hartlieb came on, and I believe they're going to put in for Holsky, the junior, rather than McGuire, the strong-arm sophomore. Well, Holsky came off the bench in games against Ohio State last year and Illinois last year and did a good job in both. So he's their number 1 relief pitcher. Father Tom was a pitcher with the Cubs and the Cardinals.
Watch the right-hand side of the screen. There's the hit. Do we see who it was, who hit it?
Third down and nearly 4 to go. The ball on the 27-yard line of Indiana. Tucholsky straightens up and throws complete to Cook, the tight end. First down, Iowa. All at the 16-yard line. And a yellow flag goes down from clear across the field. And they're very upset. Nolan Harrison, a freshman in that reserve line, is upset. Whether he was hit or did the hitting, I don't know. But it's against Iowa. So he was the man that was hit. Well, they pick up the first down, and after the play came the penalty. Dave Dials will be back at halftime with scores and highlights. And they'll talk about Dennison, the single wing, where a quarterback was a blocking back and not a thrower. Next week, Steve, John, and I, Big Ten crew, will be in Bloomington, Indiana, Illinois, and Indiana.
What a great job by Tom Tucholsky, the quarterback. He came into the ball game, third down, critical down, goes to the line of scrimmage, sees something he doesn't like. He gets them out of the bad play, completes the ball on the pass, get the penalty. But the great, cool ability of here's a guy that second-team quarterback, third-team quarterback, wherever you want to shake him out this week, coming in a tough situation and being able to move the team and get the 1st and 10.
Hartlieb has come back in on first down and 25. Ball on the 32. Throws it across the middle, hit in the line of scrimmage. Bouncing harmlessly. DeWitt's tried to get up to it in time to make the interception. Second down. Iowa wants to score. They go in 20-7. Indiana figuring if they can hold them, they remember what they've done, and that is they've outscored their opponents, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Michigan, 34-3 in the second half. So big plays for both squads. Iowa to score, Indiana to stop. Second down, 25. Hartlieb, screen pass, Harmon. Harmon is put down, and that is a rather definitive tackle there by Eric Hickerson, number 45, who comes up with the ball, but I don't think it belongs. A flag goes down in a gaggle of players down there, along with the officials. The flag goes down, and Fry clears his men out. Let's see what this penalty is. It was away from the man with the ball, Hickerson. He was 10 yards downfield. Pass was complete to Houghtlin. And this time, personal foul charged against Indiana. So that gets 15 back. Rain is coming down rather steadily now.
I'll probably get a memo for saying this, but you know, sometimes if you're Bill Mallory, I think what may be the positive, even though they got a personal foul penalty, is that they're creating excitement. Some good things are happening. The kids are back into the ball game where they haven't been. You don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to lose your poise. But sometimes, I didn't see it in the first quarter, any emotion out of Indiana. Now we've got emotion that they need. There are some positives they can build off. Now you get mad at each other. Now you can go out and play some football. Now you don't like each other.
Who's going to send you the memo?
I'll probably get one from somebody.
First down. They'll move the sticks, according to Marchand. Move the sticks, he's saying. It shows third down, but he says that personal foul will bring a first down.
Yeah, what you hate to see, you had them first down and forever because they had the penalty, their 15-yard penalty. Now they've got first down and 10.
Interception, 3 penalties have really hurt Indiana and helped Iowa. The interception by Sistrunk when Indiana was moving in for what they hoped would be a second score, and some big penalties against Indiana, and of course the one against Iowa. But now it's first down from inside the 14, and again a flag goes down.
No, not a flag, a timeout.
Timeout? For whom?
Indiana.
Marciano will tell us. Marchand will tell us it is. So they'll come back with more Big Ten football in a moment. The score here at Iowa City is 13-7, Iowa. Kinnick Stadium, Iowa City, Iowa. The great names in football, and certainly the greatest in Iowa football, Niall Kinnick, after whom the stadium was named. First down. There goes Harmon. Harmon down to the 5, to the 4, to the 3, and near a first down. Now a game can turn around. Indiana on the march. The high thrown ball by Snell. The interception by Sistrunk. And here we are, all the way down inside the 5-yard line at the 3, with 38 seconds to go in the half. And Iowa with the football. Harmon and Hudson the setbacks. They will measure to see whether or not it's a first down. First and goal. Iowa started like a house of fire. 77-yard drive, the first time they had their hands on the ball. 35-yard flea flicker play from Hartlieb to Early. Then they added 2 field goals as Indiana had 3 possessions and only had the ball 3 downs in each possession before having to punt. Finally, Indiana got it going, and their big play was the catch by Jones to make it 13-7. Indiana came back again, only to be intercepted on a pass attempted to Jones by Sistrunk. Made the interception, and now here comes Iowa. So I would say, Steve, that as you look ahead to the second half, you cannot figure one team or the other. They both look like they can take it. Hayden Fry is on the field talking to the official, Gil Marchand, and he might be talking about the clock. Marchman tells him, I don't know what he told him, but now he wants another time. He's calling timeout again. So they're taking timeout. 38 seconds to go. First and goal to go. We're in the first half. 13-7 Iowa.
Fry was upset because when they spotted the ball before they measured for the first down, he said the clock continued to run. There's 38 seconds on the clock right now. He says there should be 44 or 45 seconds, but as usual with an official, you're probably going to lose the argument. He has so far.
John, when are you going to bring an umbrella to one of these games anyway? We should know that in the Big Ten, at least in the last month, we have seen a lot of rain. All right, first and goal to go, Iowa. And there goes the little fullback, and he gets into the end zone. They call him a rolling ball of butcher knives, Richard Bass. And he has scored his 4th touchdown running the ball this year. Little used, but in these short yardage situations, Bass is something else. Short, 5'9", 223, a powerlifting champion in high school, and has the build that looks like it. 19-7.
Generally, you do not have time to make 2 fakes. That's what happens. It's an inside kind of scissors type play. You generally just don't see it on the goal line. Indiana was not able to penetrate, and he was able to get the play in the end zone. They don't have time because defenses generally make it happen quick.
Houghtlin adds the extra point. And it is 32 seconds for them to get something going. We'll come back with more Big Ten football in a moment. The score now, Iowa 20 and Indiana 7. Remember Stewart fumbling the ball on a return, and the kicker, Stoyanovich, recovering? Well, Indiana began to move until the interception by Sistrunk, and then 2 roughing penalties against Indiana, 1 against Iowa, helped Iowa down to the 80-yard drive, and Bass scored from 3 yards out. And it's 20-7. Indiana will now have to play the second half of its 1987 year. Now they have put Spud Washington in the middle. Remember, they were kicking to one side to get away from Jones, so they put Washington in the middle and they moved Jones over to the side. Let's see where Houghtlin kicks it. Jones, that's Washington, has been averaging better than 21 yards, and they've just kept the ball away from him. ...32 seconds of playing time away from the half, and Dave Dials and all of the scores and the highlights of today's games. And we'll have the Iowa marching band on this Halloween day. Well, now they put along the ground. It'll be picked up by Washington again. He makes a habit of such things, runs into his own man, and now look out, down he goes inside the 30-yard line.
The point I was trying to make about the touchdown, you generally just don't have time because defenses will penetrate. They've got to take chances. He's got good blocking in front of him, and then now you've got number 16 having to make the play, Ziegler, and just not able to make the tackle. Poor tackling by Ziegler, and gets Bass into the end zone.
Now from the 29-yard line, Iowa's got one, or Indiana's got one timeout left. Let's see how they play it with 26 seconds to go. No more mistakes. Well, look at this. They've got Cramey in at quarterback. Snell is not in there. Dave Cramey, the senior, is in. And he is in to throw. And throws under the extended arms of Anthony Thompson. And it's second down. I'm looking to the far sideline, and I don't see Snell, but I never saw a play in which he might have been hurt. Maybe it's because of the overthrows by Snell.
Sometimes you take your number one quarterback out to settle him down, to give him a little time of retrospect, time to look inside himself to see what's happening. Cramey's not played very much. He's a good thrower. He's intelligent, limited movement, makes good decisions, but he was not intended to play today.
Second down. Here's Thompson. Gets out to the 30-yard line. That will be the last play, barring a timeout called by someone, and thus far neither team has decided to call a timeout.
Jim, our producer, told me that Snell had 20 minutes before the game to be retrospective. He's right.
We have reached the half, and he's got 20 more minutes to be retrospective now. Iowa's played a great first quarter and a late second quarter to take the lead at the half, 20-7 over Indiana. All right, we're back at Kinnick Stadium, and we'll go down to the sidelines and John Snyder.
Well, Jim, the big story from the Indiana locker room at halftime is that Dave Cramey will start at quarterback the second half. Dave Schnell is all right physically, but obviously struggled a little bit in that first half, and they're going to give the ball to Dave Cramey and see if he can bring Indiana back and work that magic that Indiana's had in the second half the last 3 weeks.
Well, Cramey is a senior, but had only thrown 24 passes before today for 1 touchdown, 1 interception, completing 50%. He came off the bench last year and was the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week against Navy. He passed for 3 touchdowns and ran for another, and against Purdue he threw for 213 yards. But the Hoosiers have gone away from Dave Schnell, the man who've gotten them here, 4-0 in the Big Ten and 6-1-0, and have gone to Dave Cramey. And we'll remind you again that in the second half, Indiana has outscored all their last 3 opponents, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Michigan, 34-3. They'll need that kind of half. But Washington has the ball taken away by Jones. Then Washington picks it up. Trying to get outside, and down he goes again. Knocked down there by Jay Hess. You saw Hess, or rather Mott Thomas, and the big man in the middle, Dave Haight. We're talking defensively now for Iowa. Joe Schuster, he had a big first half. And Mike Burke. The front 5, J.J. Puck, one linebacker, and Brad Fost, the other. Now let us see what Dave Cramey can do as Bill Mallory has shuffled his quarterback. Thompson. Nothing there. The man who helped put him down was J.J. Puck. Now the secondary for Iowa. Merton Hanks at one corner. Anthony Wright at the other. Kerry Burt is the strong safety. And with the interception and a possible second, Dwight Sistrunk, the free safety. Second down 9. Cramey, Thompson, Pulse in the backfield, Jones and Allen, the wide receivers, and Jordan, the tight end for Indiana. Cramey, deep drop, throws it underneath. as Thompson. Thompson will get the first down. Thompson will go out of bounds after crossing the 40-yard line at the 43. That's the biggest pass play other than the touchdown for Indiana all afternoon.
Dave Cramey, number 14, the senior, not a lot of experience in terms of this season, has not been the quarterback. In fact, I talked to George Ballou yesterday, did not think he would play in the ball game, so I think the decision was made by Bill Mallory. We can never, I think, because of the execution of what Indiana's wanting, the coaches have a better feel than we do, but obviously Dave Schnell was not at all getting the job done and pleasing Bill Mallory.
First down, Holtz and Thompson the setbacks. Cramey to throw on first down. Has time. Now runs out of the pocket. And gets 3 or 4 yards across the 45 to the 47. Where he is stopped. And again, it is Dave Haight that got an arm around him that put him down.
We've talked about Dave Haight all day. He really has played so well. He is so quick and so strong. See, you've got two people, the guard, the center, both working on him. And then able to react. See, they're just kind of playing with each other, and all of a sudden now he breaks to make the tackle. You've got to block him. You've got to put him on his back. That's about the only place he can't make a tackle, on his back.
2nd and 7 from the 46. 20-7 Iowa. Thompson. No place to go. He is buried for no gain. It is 3rd down and 7. Well, if I had to take a vote and I don't get a vote in the RCM Miller Light Lineman of the Week, Dave Haight, who's already won it once on our telecast, would win it again. Never know what's going to happen throughout the rest of the game. Offensively for Indiana, Simons, Ratke, Finney, and Schrader, and Moore along the forward wall.
That offensive line was very impressive in the second half against Ohio State. They have not been impressive today.
This is what we're talking about, 34-3 second half. Cramey still with the ball, gets it away, and he throws high over the intended receiver, Tony Buford, at the 40-yard line of Iowa.
You know, Jim, you made a comment about throwing on the crown here at Iowa Stadium, at the stadium here. You know, I threw in Oklahoma, not often, but we have a crown at Oklahoma. It's like throwing off a mountaintop, and I don't think that's a big factor. I promise you, if you get used to it, they practiced here yesterday, and I don't think that's part of the theory about the Schnell's problems in the first half of throwing from the crown and throwing downhill has been a factor. I think it's other things, his poise, his confidence, his follow-through.
Well, Cramey also threw one high. Low pass. Brzezinski gets the ball away. Marciano, no fair catch called for at the 22-yard line, and a flag goes down. 12:27 to go. 3rd quarter, 20-7. Iowa leads Indiana in the Big Ten. Bill Mallory has changed quarterbacks from Schnell to Cramey. Cramey also has thrown high, but did have one big pass. And on this punt to Marciano, they failed to give him the necessary area in which to catch the ball. Interference call. That's a 5-yard penalty. That moves the ball out near the 27-yard line. First down, Iowa. They're up by 13 early in the 3rd quarter. Hartlieb almost tripped and fell down as he gives the ball to Hartman, who gets out to the 30-yard line. Defensively now for Indiana. Walt Harris starting back after being injured at the left side. Knows Jim Sams. He has played an outstanding game today, and Doug Schlereth is the right tackle. The linebackers, Van Waiters, the all-everything in the Big Ten, Woody Bates, Darren Bush, and Joe Huff. 2nd down, 6 to go from the 30. Hartlieb will throw. Throws out here, and down immediately is Tony Stewart. Even though Joe Huff was being ridden out of the play, he stayed with Stewart and throws him for a loss from the 31-yard line all the way back to the 22. Now your secondary for Indiana. Joe Ziegler, one cornerback, sophomore out of Miami, Florida. Eric Hickerson, the senior out of New Albany, Indiana, at the other corner. Strong safety Andre Hall, and Brian DeWitt, the free safety. 3rd down and 14. Hartlieb looking, has his man, and for the 3rd time today, Devin Harvick catches the ball. And it's another first down, Iowa. Harbert's had caught 4 catches all year. Now he's got 3 in this game.
What Iowa does so well with the receivers Early and Watkins is they stretch the defense. They pull people away. There you saw right there DeWitt's, the safety, having to react. Watch Harbert's, number 16, break across the middle. And deeper receivers have driven everyone back. The linebackers are out of position. Again, the safe route across the middle.
Harbert looking deep, throwing deep for Early, has his man beaten, and a flag is thrown. That'll be interference. Looked like Eric Hickerson trying to stop him if he could. Gets the flag.
Eric Hickerson, number 45, defending for the Hoosiers.
Indiana roughing called twice toward the end of the first half. Hurt. Now interference here, and look at Hickerson.
Hickerson turns for the ball. Let's see if he pushes away. No, he just into the receiver. No, he's got to give the receiver the ability to come back.
First down from the 44-yard line.
Indiana penalized 50 yards for
Hartlieb, Stewart, and Hudson in the backfield. Stewart, despite the sprained ankle. Early, Watkins, the wide receivers, and Cook, the tight end for Iowa. Alexander Schmidt, Anderson, Fetters, and Wester, the front line for Iowa. And the Hawkeyes have controlled this game all for about 10 minutes of the second quarter. First down from the Indiana 44. The blitz is on, and the ball is thrown in the general vicinity of Mike Flagg at tight end. Second down.
Want to look at the play again. What Hickerson does is he's not making an effort for the football, so he's impeding the receiver's ability to go back and make the catch. Watch now. He will not make an effort. Watch it.
Just rides him off with that right forearm.
That's right. He pushes him away. He's really not making an effort for the ball or be going for it. At least in my opinion. Now we'll debate this a little bit later.
Second down and 10 for Hartlieb. And Quinn Early makes his second catch of the day at the 38-yard line. It'll be third down and short. Our broadcast presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference, intended solely for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this broadcast without the express prior written consent of the Big Ten Conference is prohibited.
Do you know when you've got to send your letter in if you want to get the request? I've always heard you read those things. And send it in a week or 10 days ahead.
They might give you permission. Oklahoma 13-0 over Kansas. Third down and 4 from the 38. Hartlieb looking and going for Watkins out of bounds. That time he had Hickerson turned around, Watkins did, but the ball was overthrown.
Incomplete.
And it's fourth down. Hartlieb at the moment remains on the field, and now on the field comes a host of substitutes. And they're going to have, for the second time, their tight end Cook kick. Last time he was virtually in his own end zone. He has not been a kicker for Iowa so far, and this is hit by Early at the 3-yard line. Wow. We'll come back with more Big Ten football in a moment. The score at Iowa City, Iowa. The Hawkeyes 20, Indiana leading the Big Ten 7.
The kicking game is so important in football. Watch Quinn Early. He'll be able to knock the ball out of bounds. Indiana does not have a player in position to return the punt. The ball will go out of bounds. That's what the official's watching. He's looking at the angle. You see the beanbag being thrown by the other official. He gives excellent field position, at least for the Iowa defense.
One of the big stories, that's Cook punting over their normal punter, Adams. One of the big stories is Bill Mallory's gone away from the starting quarterback that's led into a 4-0 record in the Big Ten and 6-1 overall. Cramey remains in at quarterback. Thompson, perhaps because of the noise, didn't get the snap count, started, tried to stop. That'll be a penalty. I don't know whether or not they'll take it, but that'll be a penalty. Motion called.
Generally, if you're a quarterback and you're playing in a foreign stadium, you want to, in a situation where you're backed up, you're in front of the band, or you're in front of the noise and it becomes a factor, go on the first snap, first count, first sound. That way you don't cause the confusion. That time he was going on a long count. Maybe the inexperience of Cramey 14 the ball game to go with a longer count, but get up the line of scrimmage, get set, and go on the first count. That way you don't have the penalty mistake. Now the crowd's going to be back in the ball game here, and you can see Dave Hake raising his arms, and it'll be the same situation on a second down and long.
Wisconsin having a tough year. Now Illinois is tied Minnesota. We get Illinois and Indiana next week. Second down 9. Cramey from his own end zone. Got a man open. Jones. First down, 21-yard line. Now Market saying that he came down and was wrestled backwards to the 19, but nevertheless, a first down and a big completion for Dave Cramey.
Well, the Iowa coaches said that one of the keys of the ball game would be to identify where Ernie Jones, number 27, is on the field. The second thing is to make sure that you give him enough cushion that he can't just kill you because he's so great after the catch. Have that nice, comfortable cushion where you can break down as a defensive back. Hanks does a good job keeping Ernie Jones in front of him, makes the tackle.
Has to give Cramey a little confidence. Still with the ball, has time, throws again, and caught by Buford at the 35-yard line, and that is another first down. 2 in a row for Cramey. 1 to Jones, and this one to Buford.
Boy, you've got to be impressed with Bill Mallory to have the real guts to take his quarterback out of the ball game and go with the Cramey, who hasn't thrown any more than 24 passes coming in the ball game. This time he hits Buford. Guy doesn't have great speed, good rate, a good route runner. Cramey's finding the open guys, moving the team.
Just buried. Second down and long. 20-7 our score, third quarter. Here's Dave Dials. Well, there's no Dave Dials at the moment. We'll get back to him in a moment, and we'll give you the accurate reading on the clock. 8:27 and counting here in the third quarter. Cramey started games last year, not this year, against Missouri, Minnesota, Illinois, Florida State, so he's been there before. Second and 8. Cramey can run. Puts his head down. And it'll be third down and a couple of yards from the 43-yard line. Put down by Brad Quast.
I am so impressed with Dave Hate's ability. Now, he gets double teamed, and what happens? They force Cramey out of the pocket. But watch the fact of Hate. The play is never over for Dave Hate. He sees the quarterback break. He leaves the two guys that have been kind of trying to block him, and now he'll be one of the guys, one of the two that'll make the tackle, or at least as Cramey goes down. That's the kind of effort you want in linemen. Never quit. The play's never over until the whistle.
Third down and about 3. Gets the first down, and the flag goes down at the 45. By the way, the man that we've not heard from, Schnell is out of the game, but another one of the big men that we talk about. Is this against Indiana? It is. Penalties are really killing off the Hoosiers at the end of the first half and here in the third quarter. But get back, Schnell is out of the game. Thompson has carried the ball 11 times for 21 yards. And this is a man that almost makes a 100-yard game a habit. 9 of 12 games in which he started prior to today, he's gotten 100 or more yards, and today Thompson has 21 yards. Obviously, they're going to take this penalty. Talk about mistakes hurting your chances. Indiana can point to a bundle of penalties. A bundle. And we got to remember the team there in the black and yellow lead the Big Ten in defense, and it looks like it.
What was interesting about that stat, coming into the ball game today, Indiana would only average
65. They're already beyond their average in terms of penalty yards.
Ramey, in pursuit from behind, gets out, throws it, and good catch for the first down. And a flag goes down again. The catch was made by Tim Jordan. And a flag goes down, and there may be a late hit there. And this may be a big penalty instead against the Hawkeyes. Flags have been banged. That's personal foul, and that's against the Hawkeyes. And here comes Indiana. Hurt as they were by personal fouls against Iowa, now get a benefit of one.
Boy, Tim Jordan, they say lacks size. He was a great basketball player in high school. 4.7 speed. Here's an all-academic Big Ten player. Good effort by Cramey. Watch the late hit come in. Yeah, they ought to be penalized 40 yards for that one.
That was J.J. Puck. Ball is at the 31, 20-7 the score. Iowa, 6:42 to go third quarter, but first down for Indiana in their half. And look at Cramey, 4 of 6 at one time. Snell was something like 1 of 7.
Yeah, what's important, he's given them at least a chance.
Here's Thompson, hasn't had a good day yet. Only gets a couple of yards there. Anthony Thompson is having a rugged day. Hit hard.
They've had really a tough time of running the ball against Iowa. There's the specifics on Anthony Thompson. Ernie Jones did a good job that time of taking on the defensive back, isolating to be able to give Thompson an opportunity to make a little bit of play. Being a blocker, Indiana's got to have everybody helping and contributing right now.
Remember, Michigan State a half a game behind Indiana. Ohio State 1 game behind later. Well, no place for Andre Powell to go. Third down and about 5. The Iowa interior line just closed them down. So you would think it's time for Cramey to go back to work again. For those of you who tuned in late, nothing wrong with Dave Snell, aside from the fact he did not have a good first half and was taken out by Mallory toward the end of the first half. Third down and nearly 5 to go from the 25 of Iowa. Over the middle, they got the first down. That's Tim Jordan inside the 15. Put down by Hanks.
Boy, when you talk about Tim Jordan, they say he just has great hands. Watch, you see breakaway. They're in a blitz. The linebackers are out of position. One guy bounces off of him. He's only 6'3", 230. That tight end position. Again, good job by Cramey to find the open man, drop the ball off, give Indiana a chance.
Steve, to get back to Cramey one more time against Illinois last year, 17 of 27, 232 yards in the score. So he's been able to move this team. Oh, they lost the football. Thompson lost the football, and let's see who got it. Indiana saying they have it. 27 yards and a crucial fumble. Remember, they were down in this kind of vicinity when Sistrunk intercepted back at the end of the first half.
You know, this may be a case today of Indiana not... There's the fumble. I want to look at the fumble. Boy, I tell you, it was probably a fight.
I don't know. I never saw how they got it back, but everybody seemed to know they got it back. Second down and 9. Inside one man, gets down near the 11. Third down. And about 7 to go from the 11-yard line. 20-7 Iowa. And Cramey heads toward the sidelines. And now comes back in along with Kenny Allen. There's the score. We are in the third quarter. They need something here. Tim Jordan has been his big man, remember, in this drive, the tight end number 86. He's on the right side of the offensive line. Jordan is blocking now. Going out here, did not step out of bounds. First and goal to go at the 2. Jones did an outstanding job. A man was trying to push him out of bounds, and Jones, how he sidestepped him, I don't know. But it's a first down at the 1-yard line.
Everyone, when talking about Ernie Jones, it's what he is able to do once he catches it. Yes, he's got great route running ability, great hands, concentration. He knows where he is on the field, but what he does with it after he catches the ball. There's the effort by the defensive back, Burt. There's his left foot. It's inside clean. He knows that. He tight ropes and turns upfield. Extra yards.
First and goal to go. Indiana, a history of second-half comebacks. Right one here. Thompson. Touchdown. His 6th rushing touchdown of the year and puts Indiana back in the game. And the man you can credit a lot of this to, of course Jones, of course Jordan, but to Dave Cramey.
Two tight end set, power, go and be physical right up the middle. They're saying, okay, Iowa, you've done a great job, Dave Haight in the middle. We'll take you right to your strength, and that's what they do.
Bojanovic, 20 of 20 of his last conversion tries. Will try to make it 21. Jordan puts down a rather bad snap, and the kick is good. 3:20 to go. We're in the ball game again. Indiana in that second half. Iowa leads by 6, 20-14 here in the third quarter. Some have asked Bill Mallory, what does Bobby Knight think about all the publicity you're getting? Mallory says, Knight, he helped me get the job.
Well, he did. Bob approached me, called me one night after we'd finished our season there at Northern, and he had said the job was going to open, and if I was interested, that he would recommend me. And so we talked over the job, and he was a good one to talk about because he's going to tell you the way it is. And but he's been very supportive, and I got a lot of respect for Bob.
So there's nothing about Bob Knight not liking the fact that Bill Mallory's team is doing very well. He loves it, and as Bill has told you, Bobby got him to help get him the job.
Great drive, 13 plays, 96 yards, 2 big third down situations that converted. Excellent drive.
Marciano, down he goes, getting to about the 21-yard line. 3:14 to go. 20-14, Iowa leads Indiana. What about other games? Dave Dials.
Jim, at the place where homecoming originated 78 years ago, Illinois broke a 7-7 tie. Friend Anthony Williams, 9 yards. Illinois touchdown and leading Minnesota 14-7, second quarter. Back to you, Jim.
And the Minnesota bubble, which was mighty at one time, their best start in a long time. If they lose today, they'll have 3 losses in the Big Ten. But then if Indiana escapes or not from here, Illinois is showing muscle. Holman lost the ball. And it still belongs to Iowa. The turnovers have all been on the side of Indiana. They've given up the ball, and now Iowa almost does.
Indiana's a football team that has always had the theory, at least this year, of waiting on you to make the mistakes and then being able to take advantage of it.
Dave Cramey is 6 for 8 for 93 yards. 98 yards make that.
Well, I tell you, people wonder if coaches earn their money to be able to take the quarterback out of the ball game.
Harmon struggles. And it'll be third down and long, about 8 to go from the 22-yard line. You can hear the rain pelting down. Purdue, under Fred Akers, had a long time coming before they got their first win. Looking now for their second of the year. Look at Duke over Georgia Tech. And Boston College, Tennessee hampered without their first-string quarterback. Notre Dame in a romp, 49-6 over Navy. Navy having a terrible season. Arkansas now beginning to move out in front of Rice. Struggled at the beginning. Hartlieb has time, puts it up here for Early. He's out of bounds. It's fourth down, and Indiana will get the ball back. And don't tell me Early is hurt. Outstanding young man. Led the Big Ten in catches before today with 43. Second in yardage only to Jones, and here's what happens, Steve. Let's see if we can see.
Well, he's going to catch the ball out of bounds, neither foot, in bounds, comes down his right foot, and then the defensive back comes over, rolls him over.
That right knee looked like it hit at an awkward angle. Now again, Cook kicks the ball away. That is Buford, and he is at the 48-yard line. Indiana has outstanding field position here late in the third quarter. We'll come back with more Big Ten football in a moment. Our score at Iowa City, 20-14. Iowa leads Indiana. Raining hard here at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. And the hopes rest on the man trotting into your picture there behind the A of Indiana. That is Dave Cramey, who came on for Schnell, who was throwing high and had a poor completion record. And Cramey engineered the last long drive and now has outstanding field position. Indiana's down by 6. Lots of time left. That's it to Jones again, and he's taken down by Merton Hanks after picking up 6 or 7 yards. Let's go down to rain-drenched John Snyder.
Quinn Early banged his leg on the side of the bench when he came off the field when he was tackled on that last reception. He is okay. He will go back in the game, and the rain now is really coming down very hard. And both teams change shoes at halftime. You bring 2 sets of shoes, one for a dry field, one for a wet one. We got a wet field.
Second down from the 46 of Iowa. Buford and Jones both come to the right. Check that. Buford and Kenny Allen are to the right. Thompson, not much there. It'll be third down and 1.5 yards to go for the first down. More scores, Dave Dials.
I'm going to give you an update on the Big Ten. Illinois leading Minnesota 14-7 second quarter. Michigan State and Ohio State not yet kicking it off. Michigan's kicked another field goal by Gillette, leads Northwestern 15-0 third quarter. Purdue running over Wisconsin by a score of 28-7. That's in the second quarter. Jim Simpson.
Third down, 1.5 yards to go from inside the 45 of Iowa. Holtz and Thompson the setbacks. Has the first down. The fake to his fullback Holtz. The hole opened up and he gets inside the 40. And Dave Cramey has begun to do it all for Indiana offensively.
I really don't think that was the play that was designed or the way that was to be executed. I think Cramey saw what happened to the outside and went inside.
Well, he's going to walk to the sidelines. Whoops, they're running in. They have not yet. Now, will they roll the clock again or what? They've stopped the clock with 4 seconds to go. I think Cramey was willing to allow it to run out. And one of the officials came in and said, hold it, now they'll wind the clock. And now we will go to commercial. We will say that Indiana, undefeated in the Big Ten, has its hands full, but looking good in the second half. Halloween Day in Iowa City, Iowa. On a rainy day for the young trick-or-treaters tonight. But we've got a football game this afternoon. Indiana's got a first down at the 39 of Iowa, trailing by 6 as we begin the fourth quarter. Cramey throws, and there's that man Jordan again. Jordan is having an outstanding day.
Number 66, Bill Foster, defending. Knocked off by number 45, Burt Hanks.
They're so fearful and mindful of where Ernie Jones is on the field that Tim Jordan is being able to have success. This time it's an outside release. He's putting pressure. That's causing the outside backer or Hanks to try to cover him, and they're just unable to really put the pressure on him, and that's why Cramey's able to find his tight end.
Jordan was an all-conference quarterback in high school and caught 4 balls here for 48 yards. Second down and 3. Cramey has his man going into the end zone. Stop, makes the catch. And that's Jones for the touchdown. And Indiana, trailing 13-0 and then 20-7 at the half, are now tied with Stoyanovich trying to put them ahead with his extra point try. Cramey has done a magnificent job coming in replacement of Dave Schnell. Jones has caught his second touchdown pass of the day. What looked very bleak for Indiana and very good for Iowa in the first quarter has suddenly turned around. And now, let's see, you can add 13, maybe 14. If Stojanovic makes this, Steve, that would be 48 points to 3 in the second half thus far against Ohio State, Minnesota, Michigan, and Iowa. Very impressive.
Maybe, just maybe, the glass slipper fits Indiana. Watch Cramey finding Ernie Jones, the second touchdown. What is the key? Greg Brown didn't turn around and look at the ball, and Jones was able to react, come back, make the catch, and watch the isolation again. Watch Jones working on Greg Brown, 29. Brown has played some as a starter while the Keys guy was not playing. See, he never looked for the ball, never turned back, and he was able to see Ernie Jones back into the end zone. That's a little too late.
Greg Brown last week had 2 interceptions against Purdue, 3 on the season, but he was beaten there, and Cramey has just done a great job.
Cramey has completed 8 passes in a row.
Well, it is up to Pete Stojanovic to put Indiana in front, but remember, we have almost the entire fourth quarter to go. This ball game could go a couple of different ways before it's over. Stojanovic adds the extra point. And for the first time today, Indiana, one time down 13-0, now leads Iowa with 14-14 to go, fourth quarter, 21-20. It is raining so hard that despite the closeness of this game, 21-20 Iowa, many hundreds of fans, if not thousands, have decided enough already. They have left the stadium because they are drenched. Stojanovic to kick off, to Marciano or Harmon. And they're almost out to their 10-yard line, anticipating not a deep kick. And that fools him as Marciano goes all the way back to the 2. And down he goes. Outstanding special teams play there by Mike Dumas, a defensive back, a freshman of Alto, Michigan, number 38. Had him in his sights all the way. Here's Jones, 11 touchdowns in a season. That ties the record of Lonnie Johnson. Let's go quickly to John Snutt at the sidelines.
Bill Mallory told me at halftime when he made the change to Dave Cramey at quarterback that there would be no major changes offensively. It was simply a question of execution. And obviously, Dave Cramey has done that. Twice he's led his team to touchdowns, and both times, one of the first to greet him when he came off the field was the man he replaced, Dave Snell.
Ball is at the 14-yard line, first down. Iowa, for the first time, they are down. By a single point. The whistle is blown. I think they want a drier football. And that's going to be increasingly difficult. You didn't throw that much, as you often admit, but how about throwing a wet football?
Well, a lot of teams practice with a wet ball intentionally during preparation for a ball game because there's nothing like the experience.
Here's Hartlieb. Gets the ball out. They set it up beautifully. Harmon on the other side. Harmon knocked down after picking up 6 or 7 yards. Looked like it might go for even more than that. Let's go back to Dave Dowse for more scores.
Well, we're going to show you why they're ranked 1, 2, and 3, Jim. Oklahoma leading Kansas 23-0. That game is just in the second quarter. The second-ranked team in the nation, Nebraska, out in front of Missouri's Tigers, 7-0. That's still in the first quarter. The third-ranked team in the nation, Miami of Florida, routing East Carolina 41-3. And we just got a final score. Boston College indeed has upset Tennessee 20-18. Jim, back to you.
Boy, that schedule of Boston College is tough, but Tennessee without his quarterback. There goes Hudson, and Hudson does not get the first down. As a matter of fact, he may have lost a yard, and it'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 20. There's your drive, the last 32 yards. Ernie Jones. Next week, we will see Indiana win, lose, or draw today against Illinois, which is playing a good game today also and is leading its opponent today, Minnesota, at last look. 3rd and 4. Skies are lightening up, but the rain continues to come down. Hartlieb, lots of time, has a man out here, and the catch is made by Clark, the tight end, for the first down. Craig Clark. First down, Iowa, trailing by 1 with better than 12.5 minutes left.
Indiana has to play every down. They do not have the talent or the depth of the manpower to let up just because they have the game right now, the lead. They find Craig Clark, number 49. Hartlieb still is a confident quarterback, able to find the open guy. Good protection by his offensive line. Smith, Anderson, Divis.
First down. Hartlieb throwing on nearly every down. And has his man out here again. This time the other tight end, Marv Cook, who has been called on to do the punting today. First to Flag here, then to Cook. Both the tight ends. Both very effective. That's another first down. How about this? Penn State at the half, barely ahead of West Virginia by 3. Syracuse undefeated, like Indiana, surprised this year, shutting out Pittsburgh. Illinois taking charge of Minnesota, looks like 17-7 Notre Dame, 49-6 over Navy. Third quarter, Arkansas 17-7 over Rice. Hartlieb this time gives, and the play is made by Wolf Harris, the defensive end on that side, who has just returned from an injury, and that throws Harmon back about 5 yards to the 38-yard line. Harris missed all of 1985 with a back injury. Then he had broken his leg in '84, and he was lost in the 3rd game of this year. That's a tough way to fight your way back. He is a redshirt junior. Second down, 16. Hartlieb puts it out and over the head of Flag and in front of the wide receiver, Harberts. And it's 3rd down and 16. To repeat, Iowa played an impeccable first quarter, leading 13-0. Indiana did little right, had the ball 3 times, 3 offensive plays each time, had to punt each time, didn't get going till the 2nd quarter. Jones made a miraculous catch of a Schnell pass, and that was all for Indiana in the first half. The second half has been different. They've scored 2 touchdowns behind Framey's quarterbacking. 3rd down, Hartlieb almost lost his footing. He needs it all, puts it up there, coming back for the first down. Hartlieb did an outstanding job. Got away, put it up in the air.
2 real efforts that were significant on this play. First of all, Hartlieb to get away from the pressure. There you see number 2, Watkins, and watch the defensive back. He knows that Hartlieb's in trouble. He slacks off. That's Eric Hickerson, 45. He's not recovering quick enough, and Watkins does a great job of breaking to the ball and coming forward and letting Hartlieb find the open man. Indiana cannot afford, excuse me, Jim, they cannot afford to not play every down.
From the 44. That was some kind of move by Harmon. I'm not quite sure what that was. But he got there, he went straight up in the air, did pick up 5 yards to the 39, and it is 2nd down and 5. Hartlieb 16-23, 168 yards. Flag is down at the 39. Personal foul, Indiana again. Is that the 3rd personal foul? I think it is. Against Indiana, and in their own territory, and that'll move them way down inside the 30-yard line.
Let's watch Brian DeWitt's number 13. Let's see if he might have been the culprit. To the right of the screen, there's the late hit. Number 13, the safety, Brian DeWitt on the late hit. Lost his poise. It's cool. You've got to be able to know where you are on the field. The guy's down, bounce away from him. Don't make the late hit. Don't make the mistake.
First down from the 24, Iowa. If they don't get a touchdown, they've got one of the best field goal kickers in the country in Houghtlin, and they're only down by a point. 91 yards. You said they're averaging 65 before today. Hartlieb goes for out of bounds is flagged at the 1-yard line.
Good protection. It's not pretty. It's a wet ball. The defender's giving him too much cushion. Brian DeWitt was there. He was 2 yards off of Mike Flagg. He's not as intense as a receiver as Marv Cook, but he takes his shot. Good position receiver. Makes a big catch, giving in Iowa the situation. First and goal.
21-20. Indiana, Iowa. First down. The 1-foot line. Hudson goes into the end zone, and Iowa goes back into the lead. Hudson with his 3rd touchdown of the year. Now let us see. With it 26-21. A touchdown, they need a touchdown anyway, but if they go for 2 to make it 28-21, then Indiana would have to go for 2. So with that thinking in mind, I have a hunch that the Hawkeyes are going to go for 2. It will not hurt them. Field goal still can't beat them. Still takes a touchdown to beat them. If they make it, it would take a touchdown to tie, unless they went for 2 extra points. And here's Hartlieb, but there's a man in motion. Hartlieb will get the ball off and caught by Bass, but there was a man in motion for Iowa, I am sure. So bring it all back.
I wonder if Hartlieb was able to see the flag. I wonder if he knew there was a penalty on the play. And the only way he was going to get another chance was to put it in the end zone.
Well, now to go for the 2. They still choose
We have
to.
a back illegally in motion on the offense.
They've got 8 yards to go. 7.
Here's the touchdown again. Dave Hudson, number 20. Good power effort, the block. You see the lead block by Richard Bass, and then Hudson's able to go over to the right side between Wester and Divis.
Hayden Fry has put in his big guns. Quinn Early, Devin Harberts, and Travis Watkins, 3 type wide receivers, are all in there. They have spread the field. Harbert cannot get the ball as Hartlieb overthrows him. 10:29 to go. We'll come right back with more Big Ten football in a moment. The score remains Iowa 26 and Indiana 21. The game is everything we wanted it to be. Close and exciting. Indiana, after a slow start, back in the ball game, took the lead for the moment, Steve, and now Iowa has taken the lead by 5.
Well, I said all along that Indiana has to play every down. They're the Cinderella team, and I wonder, the glass slipper, I think it does fit, but the crazy thing, they may give it away. They're not going to lose it. They may give it away to somebody.
Nearly 100 yards in penalties so far. Great come-from-behind quarterbacking by Cramey in replacement of Schnell. But again, Hartlieb is the man who got him down there this time for Iowa to go out in front.
Well, there's no doubt Hartlieb's been a great player all year for Iowa and earning the position, and then to be in a pressure situation down to take him down the field. It's Iowa's ball game, I think, right now to really lose right now.
Indiana, remember, is undefeated in Big Ten play as of this moment. Michigan State, to kick off in a short while against Ohio State, is a half a game behind. Ohio State looking very good last week against Minnesota, destroying them. Just a game behind. So Ohio State, by winning today, they would be 4-1. Indiana would be 4-1, and Michigan State would be 3-1-1. So those things could happen. But this ball game has 10 minutes and 29 seconds of playing time left. Houghtlin to kick it off. Never once has Jones had the opportunity to return a kick. Spud Washington has done it all. and he'll keep this one on the ground. And Jones will get a chance. And look what Jones does when he gets a chance, all the way up to the 40-yard line. First and 10, 10:23 to go. Let's get some more scores in Dave Dias.
Greenfield has scored on a sneak for Northwestern, but the Wildcats trailed Michigan fourth quarter by a score of 22-6. Illinois now in front of Minnesota in the second quarter, 20-14, and a final score, the Irish of Notre Dame have walloped Navy 56-13. Jim?
Not like an Oklahoma score, Steve, 56-13.
Well, you know, I don't think that's unpredictable what happened to Navy today.
Jones wide to the right, Kenny Allen to the left.
Dave Cramey's completed 8 consecutive passes.
Crowd yelling for defense. It is the #1 defense in the Big Ten. And there's a pass complete across the way. And out of bounds goes Tom Poltz with his first catch of this game. Check it. I think I said Poltz 34. It was 31, Andre Powell. Second down and about a half a yard to go. Powell stepped out of bounds, so still a lot of time. Oklahoma and Nebraska both cruising, heading for their November 21st showdown, and Rice sneaking up on Arkansas. Powell gets the first down. Down and into Iowa territory at the 48-yard line.
Stop by number 77, Myra Kepi.
Well, the man who made the stop is a man very slow getting up there, Kepi, 77. It is amazing when you consider, Steve, that Dave Snell got him to here. Look at this West Virginia out in front of Penn State. What Dave Dial say? They haven't won at Penn State in 31 years, something like that. But Snell got him to a 6-1 record, and here's Cramey coming in, giving them all the poise in the world and a chance to win the game. Cramey. Tim Jordan will get another catch. And Jordan gets the first down with second effort. Jordan continues to have impressive numbers.
What's impressive is not so much the throw or the catch, but it's the effort after the catch. He's been making big catches all day. Watch him take the blow and then get away from him. And then Dave Haight, number 64, the nose guard, they're doing a good job of being able to wall him off, keep him under pressure, and keep him out of the play and away from the quarterback.
5 catches for 58 yards on that last touchdown drive by Indiana. He made big ones. Here's Thompson with no big one yet. Trying to get one because of the fine work by Kerry Burt, the strong safety number 3. After a gain from the 38 down to the 35. 9:25 and counting. Iowa up by 5. Cramey has just been perfect, hasn't he?
And I promise you, I think it was probably the farthest thing from the mind of Dave Cramey that he would play today.
Cramey fakes to Thompson, still has the ball, fires, and has his man Kenny Allen off the football, but they say incomplete. Iowa recovered the ball, but Allen, they said, did not have possession of the ball, and it is third down. Big call and play there. Kenny Allen went high in the air, but look what happens.
Pushed off by Merton Hanks, 45. Let's see how long he possessed the ball, if he did at all. They say he didn't. It wasn't a fumble.
Oh, yeah?
Boy, I don't know. I think he grabs it and brings it to his chest. That's pretty much a catch. I agree. The official might have saw the ball away from his body, but you see him try to bring it to him, and he's got his hands around it.
Guilford and Jones wide to the right on third down and 7. Cramey has his man Jones, who dropped the ball for the first down at the 20. The sure-handed Ernie Jones. So Cramey, who had completed 10 consecutive passes, had Allen drop one, and then Jones drop one.
Ernie Jones has caught has had big plays, big catches in the ball game. I think he was concentrating maybe where he was going in terms of after the catch. Here's the play before to Kenny Allen. Now let's watch. He has his fingers on it. I think he's bringing. Oh, I don't know.
There it goes when he gets hit.
Yeah, I believe it was a catch and then a fumble, boys.
But anyway, Iowa's going to get the ball back apparently because Brzezinski's in to kick it away. Kerry Burt goes deep. Brzezinski puts it high in the air and toward the sidelines. And did it go out where? Inside the 20? Yes, they say at the 14. 8:44 to go. Iowa by 5, and they've got the football. Trying to hand Indiana its first loss in the Big Ten. Next week we will see Indiana again against Illinois, which today is out in front of Minnesota only by 6. 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern time. And remember, in this half, Iowa, with its 6 points, failing to go for the 2, has scored twice as many points in the second half as Ohio State, Minnesota, and Michigan combined against this Illinois team, or Indiana team. First down. All kinds of time left. Hartlieb, Harmon. First man to hit Harmon was Willie Bates, the linebacker. Schmidt couldn't take him out. Bates leads the team in tackles. Incredible thing about Willie, he had 68 tackles before today's game, and 56 of the 68 was solo. That's a lot of one-on-one. Second down, 7 to go. 8 minutes and 7 seconds to go. Harmon, no place to go. Third down and about 4 to go from the 20-yard line. Big play for Iowa and Indiana, and coming in with the play apparently is Marv Cook.
And number 40, Darren Brooks. Third down, 4.
A lot of the crowd has left, but the exodus we saw some time ago has stopped just about the time that Iowa moved in front of Indiana. And West Virginia now in the 4th quarter against Joe Paterno's Penn State club. 21-18. Still has the ball. Ball is bounded up in the air. Hit before it got past the line of scrimmage. And it's 4th down, and Indiana will get the ball back.
What Chuck Hartlieb did that time, he thought they were going to blitz, so he changed his plays, and it was a quick drop step and the quick motion. What happened? The blitz never developed. The lineman was able to get his hands up and knock the ball away. Good disguise of coverage and what the defensive plan was by Indiana.
Tony Buford, who is 15th in the nation in punt returns, averaging better than 12 yards per return, is standing at the 41. And Cook kicks it to him, and Buford's got a pretty good head start and moves into Iowa territory at the 47. Good field position, 7:10 to go, but it's Iowa that leads, 26-21 over Indiana. 7:10 left, 4th quarter. Iowa 26, Indiana 21. The Hoosiers with Cramey, the quarterback, have the ball 1st and 10 at the Iowa 48. A second-string quarterback who's had an outstanding second half, going against the best defense in the Big Ten, with a 5-point difference in the score. Let's see how it turns out. Cramey can't get the block he needs on the far side. Just could not get the block, and Mike Burke puts him down. Second down. Here's Dave Dye.
Who says Ohio State has no offense? First play of the game. Everett Ross on the receiving end of a 79-yard pass run from Tom Nichol. Buckeye 7, Michigan State nothing. Back to Jim Simpson.
All right, remember the time we had at a couple of weeks ago at Purdue when Everett Ross went down with a concussion, went to the hospital, thought he was seriously injured, didn't play last week against Minnesota, back and on the first play, 79 yards. Ball is hit up in the air. 3rd down and 10. And again, It is Kepi, Byron Kepi. He has had some outstanding moments in this game. Transfer from Ellsworth Junior College. 3rd and 10. Indiana in danger for Hoosiers fans everywhere of losing a big opportunity here. And Iowa holding on for all of their fans. 3rd down, 10 to go, 6:24 left. Ramey back to throw. Ramey for Allen. Out of bounds. It's 4th down. No flags on the play. Trzynski coming in to kick the ball away. Iowa will get it back.
Iowa's defense, when they've had to respond today, they have. Kenny Allen, an excellent route runner. The ball's just too far outside. Not really a chance to make the catch and make the 1st and 10.
Peter Marciano, the only man in the Big Ten to return a punt for a touchdown last year, calls for a fair catch inside the 10, back at the 5. Never gave it a chance to go into the end zone. And that puts Iowa with the lead in a hole. Big Ten scores: Michigan over Northwestern 29-6. Purdue beating Wisconsin. Badgers having a tough year. Illinois hanging on over Minnesota. And on that 79-yard play, Ross has Ohio State in front of Michigan State 7-0. Ohio State, by moving Coleman to flanker and by inserting Carlos Snow as a tailback, have really rejuvenated their offense after losing Chris Carter and Nate Harrison preseason. Iowa will try to run out as much of the clock and get as much yardage as they can. Leading by 5, 6:11 to go. Don't want to fumble the ball here. Hudson may have gotten a yard. 2nd down to 9.
Waiters is one of the leading tackles. He's tied with Jim Sams, the nose guard today. Outside backer, good range and speed. Gets away from the blocker and then just sneaks around to find David Hudson, number 20. No one really picked him up. He was able to get away from the blocker, keep his feet clear, and then move and make the tackle.
Waiters has made 31 tackles for 187 yards negative. Hudson gets out near the 10-yard line, and it is 3rd down and plenty, about 6 to go. And again, Indiana's defense tries to do to Iowa what Iowa's defense did to them. Hold them and make them kick it away. Well, there's still time left. 5:13 and counting.
About the 9-yard line, 3rd down, 6.
Indiana shouldn't get out of here with a win. It'll be really a leg up on the way toward the Rose Bowl. But that is not a sure thing. As a matter of fact, Iowa holds the upper hand, and Iowa was the favorite by almost a touchdown coming into the game. 3rd and 6. Hartlieb from his own goal line. Throws. And he's still loose. Marv Cook, the punter and tight end, wrestled down by Hickerson. Iowa has the biggest 1st down of the game, all the way to the 32 of Indiana.
What a great job by Chuck Hartlieb. Watch him throw the ball sidearm. That's the only way he can get the ball thrown. See it, sidearm. The defender done a great job. And then watch Marv Cook. Here's an all Big 8. Gosh, I said it twice. Big 10 guy. I don't know what I'm doing. Watch him catch and move downfield and make things happen. The coaches, when they talk about him, just say that he will make the catch and he'll do something with the ball. Doesn't have the great speed. Good effort.
Harmon. No gain on the play. The tackle made by Darren Bush.
There may be some question whether the ball was deflected, but I know Hartlieb has to throw it sidearm. You'll see a defensive lineman jump up and watch Chuck have to just sling it out there. It was deflected. It was deflected. Good job, Chuck Howard. Joe Huff, number 35, the outside backer, deflects the ball, and then Cook is able to make the catch.
For those who cannot find Chuck Howard on their numerical roster for this game, he's our producer. He's the one who spotted it. Penalty against Iowa for holding takes them back to the 41-yard line. First down and 20 to go. 4:15 left in the game. Iowa by 5.
You'll watch number 35. You'll see him. His left hand will get, right there. It comes up. There it is. He touches it with his fingertips.
Hartlieb looking down and has his man again. Flag. Hartlieb has really gone to town with Clark, Flagg, and Cook, his tight ends today, and not so much to Early or Watkins, but he has hit Harberts for 4 passes.
Coming into the ball game, Indiana was concerned about how their secondary would react to a passing team. This is the first effort against a passing team. Their 2 safeties, DeWitts and Hall, have not played against passing teams. They're new guys in the system this year. Good job by Mike Flagg to catch the ball and go out of bounds.
3:57 to go, but you got to start looking again at those Big Ten standings. Ohio State out in front of Michigan State, and at this moment, Iowa in front of Indiana. Well, let's just say they stand as they are, and a lot can happen, especially in the Ohio State-Michigan State game. At the end of the day, if everything stands as it is, Indiana will be 4-1-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan State will be 3-1-1, and Ohio State will be in a second-place tie at 4-1-0. Iowa, it says it still has a chance, 3-2. But Iowa, remember, still, they get Northwestern next week, but then they get Ohio State and Minnesota. Harmon. Fine job done by Willie Bates, the inside linebacker, number 81.
Willie Bates. Left out by
Second down to 9. And there's the time clicking away.
9 on the 20.
That is not the last rose of summer. One of the first of fall, I guess. It is a chilly, rainy day. Andre Powell, Indiana fullback, on the sidelines. Time is on the side. Harmon hit in the backfield, gets away. Darren Bush, the linebacker, hit Harmon, but Kevin got down to about the 17-yard line, where it's 3rd down and 6 to go. There's Cramey hoping he has enough. And remember, Houghtlin is an outstanding field goal kicker. If he kicks and makes, it is an 8-point lead, and Indiana, should they be able to score, would have to make good on a 2-point conversion to tie. That's just a scenario that could be played out. Right now, Iowa is just allowing the time to run down. It's still running. Now they're going to call time after they used up as much time off the clock as they could. 2:29 to go, 3rd down and 6. We'll come back with more Big Ten football in a moment. The score to Iowa City, Iowa 26, Indiana 21. Well, that's the story in front of you. 2:29 to go, 26-21 Iowa. A big 3rd down play. The biggest news of this game is not that Iowa's winning, but Bill Mallory took out his first-string quarterback near the end of the first half. But he did not go down in quality or performance. For Dave Cramey has done an outstanding job. But nevertheless, Indiana finds itself down by 5 and trying to hold Iowa here. And Iowa still has the ace in the hole of Rob Houghtlin, the field goal kicker, should this 3rd down play fail. Harmon close to the first down. Close to the first down. Inside the 12. They have to get the nose of the ball just over the 11. And here's where a lot of coaches start talking about where they spot the ball.
Timeout for measurement.
They shall measure. 2:11 to go. All right, while they measure. 3 points make it an 8-point ball game. 4th down. If you got a foot or more to go, you go for it. You, Steve Davis.
I don't think I blow an opportunity
to put points on
the board in this situation, and put them in a situation where 2 point on a touchdown, extra point play.
Now, this is what we're talking about.
That's right.
You're thinking Houghtlin should come in because he's almost a sure shot.
Yeah, I'd go kicker. I'd kick it.
He's coming in. Now, again, we'll remind you, if he gets it, it becomes 29-21. It's an 8-point ball game. Indiana could score, but would need a 2-point conversion attempt to tie. So this is why they're going to try a field goal from just 27 yards out. From 27 yards out, the kick looks good and is. And there's your 8-point ball game. Houghtlin, a clutch kick. And only 1 minute and 57 seconds to go. And it looks like Iowa, if they don't win, the worst they can do is a tie. We'll check on that, but now let's check Dave Dye.
Jim, a Big Ten final score, Bo Schembechler's Michigan Wolverines 29-6 over Northwestern, and with 1:30 left to play, Penn State has taken the lead over West Virginia 25-21. I'm now told there's less than 15 seconds to play in that game. Jim, back to you.
Don Nealon might have thought for a moment that he had it, but apparently Joe Paterno's team has snatched it back. Now Indiana, behind Dave Cramey, must make something happen, not only to score, but to get a 2-point conversion, to get a tie. Here's what has been going on, and we do have a final score, because we're not going to have time for Dave Dials in the postgame show, we don't think. So what we'll do is keep you up to date. Michigan has beaten Northwestern, as Dave told you. Purdue manhandling Wisconsin. Illinois at the half, just over Minnesota. We'll see Illinois next week against Indiana. Ohio State on the first play from offense, 79 yards. Everett Ross scored. Leads Michigan State 7-0. Other Big Ten games. Hawks buried this. Well, they haven't exactly buried them, although at the end of the first quarter, I would have said they buried them. It was 13-0, and Indiana had 5 yards total offense as compared to 132 for Iowa. Clemson is down to Wake Forest, but breezes by 31-17. Syracuse leading Pittsburgh in the second, 17-3. Arkansas now cruising ahead of Rice, 31-14 fourth quarter. South Carolina pummeling North Carolina State 41-0. State's the team that beat Clemson last week. Houghtlin kicks off along the ground. Picked up there. Can't get up and run with it, at least not in college ball. Granderson, a tailback, fell on the ball. The sophomore got up as though he could run, but the ball is at the 34 with 1:54 left. Army over Temple in the third quarter. Oklahoma, Kansas, 29-0 at the half. Iowa's trying to get its crowd to get behind them. A rainy day, and the rain has fallen on Indiana's hopes of taking yet a bigger lead in the Big Ten, although Ohio State is right on their heels along with Michigan State. Cramey ran out of time and gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard more. But that's going to take a lot of time off the clock. Did a great job to get back the yardage, but there goes the clock. It's still running.
The demise of the play began with Dave Haight being able to get his hands around Dave Cramey, the quarterback, and then it just went, it deteriorated from there.
To Jones, and I think that Ernie mistimed his leap at midfield. I'm sorry, that's Kenny Allen, but nevertheless, the leap was mistimed. Indiana has 2 timeouts. That stops the clock, that incomplete pass. But more importantly, it is 3rd down and 10.
When Indiana desperately needs a completed pass, they're not able to secure it. The ball overthrown.
And Allen was on his way down before the ball got there. Innick Stadium is wild. Cramey, no, it'll be intercepted. Sistrunk with his second, and he almost had a third. And with 1:13 to go, Indiana can say, well, we came close.
Yeah, but I tell you, Bill Mallory and Indiana did not want to come to Kinnick Stadium and just get respect. They wanted to win. They've not been able to play consistently on offense. They put too much pressure on a second-team quarterback. Here it is, Tim Jordan will overthrow it. Again, we're dealing with a wet football today. He overthrows the ball, and Sistrunk's able again to play center field and make the interception for Iowa.
Now, if this score holds up and Michigan State comes back to beat Ohio State, Michigan State would take over the lead in the Big Ten at the end of the day with a tie, and that is all. Indiana does get the privilege of going home next week to play Illinois, and we will be there to see how they recuperate against this apparent loss to Iowa. Down 13-0 at the end of the quarter. Indiana led but once, and that was 21-20. Dave Hayden played an outstanding game, and when he wasn't in on a tackle, he caused a lot of other things to happen. Time has been called. Iowa, big game for both teams. Hayden Fry on top of Mallory, 29-21. There's Dave Cramey. I'll give you an interesting question to leave Kinnick Stadium with. Cramey did so well. Snell did not do well, but he got him to 6-1 before today. Whom do you play next week as your starting quarterback? Ball is dropped, and Indiana may have it. It's Indiana's with a chance with 51 seconds to go. The ball is dropped, and Indiana gets it. With 51 seconds to go.
You just don't make this type of mistake. The game is over as far as you're concerned with Iowa, and all of a sudden, regardless of the wet ball, David Hudson lays the ball on the ground and gives Indiana a chance to get back in the ball game and tie it up.
Well, Ramey comes back in. Darren Bush, inside linebacker, we believe is the man who caused the fumble. Ramey going for everything, and it is intercepted by Kerry Burt. The third interception of the day for Iowa, the first for Kerry Burt. And the sun begins to peek through the clouds on Kinnick Stadium and on the fortunes of the Hawkeyes. So we go back to the same question before the fumble. Cramey or Snell?
Indiana needed to make something happen very quick. 48 seconds to go in the ball game. Throws it up, too short. Kerry Burt is able to walk right under a fifth-year guy to make the interception.
That's his 7th interception of this year, and he's just one interception behind school mark by Niall Kinnick or Lou King. First down. Now, Hartlieb, no problem there. He fell down, I don't think deliberately, but that still gets the job done. I think he'd like to run a few more seconds off the clock. Oklahoma now out in front of Kansas 36-0. And Illinois hanging on over Minnesota. Minnesota's got a dangerous offense, however. Lehigh beating Columbia. They thought they were going to do it. They have now lost 38 in a row. Back with more Big Ten football in a moment. We're in Iowa City, Iowa, 29-21, Iowa. 34 seconds remain. The glass slipper has not been lost by Indiana. They'll just be like everybody else except until now Michigan State, having lost a game in the Big Ten. Hartlieb puts his knee down again as the rain starts to pelt down again. They'll try to let this thing run out. Outstanding job done by the defense and by Hartlieb. of Iowa in handing Indiana, despite the great second-half performance of Dave Cramey, their first loss in the Big Ten, their second loss of the year. The other loss was at Kentucky. And remember, we will see them, Indiana, at Illinois next week at 11 Central Time, 12 noon Eastern Time here on ESPN. Jim Simpson, Steve Davis, and John Snyder. Our final score, Iowa beating Indiana 29-21.